What is up, everybody? We are back in the house. Happy Thursday to you all. Man, I got us looking all small on the screen there. Let's
I was gonna say,
blow that up a little bit.
there we
Yeah. Welcome back and happy Thursday. Coming back after being off last week, which let me just tell you, last Thursday night, I took off so I could watch the West Virginia game. Watching the game, I'm just like watching the first half, and I'm just like, this is shit. Like, why am I even taking time watching this? Like, then they finally get up. Then they finally start doing stuff. And then by the time it ended the game, the Hail Mary pass from hell. Like, how in 2023 do you not know to knock a pass down on the Hail Mary? Why are you trying to catch it on defense? Why? So I just did the show last Thursday night is what the moral of the story is, because at the end of the night, I was pissed off and I could have used some more beer. So there you go. That being said, that was then. This is now. Welcome back to everybody as we have Todd here with me. As usual, Mal was going to try to get here from a Perfectly Me Crafts, but she got caught up at the brewery, so we'll see if she pops in. And then if we get some other people up in here on the show, Rusty's in the house. Cheers, Rusty.
What's up, Rusty?
Happy Thursday. And we got Tater in the house. What's up, Tater? Cheers, everyone. Cheers, and welcome. I feel like everybody should know a guy named Tater. I feel like that's It's like you at a party and someone says Tater's here. You're like, okay, it's about to get a little crazy. It's about to get a little crazy. Tater's here now? Oh, it's about to get a little crazy. Well, welcome, Tater. Definitely great to have you on board, my friend. And this is what we do every Thursday night. We kick back and we just shoot the whatever we can, talk about beer, drink some beer, which I'm going to crack open a beer here right now because it has been a long week and a long day, so I'm going to get into one pretty quick. Did you crack one open earlier already?
Well, I just cracked it, but I haven't poured it yet. I was like, so shit, what did I do that for?
What did you crack open?
So do you know the can art of that?
Oh, boy, you're going to a hot butcher. You're going to just come here and just come here and tease me. Just show me up like that. Just teasing me, just throwing it out there.
This is one of my hauls from Chicago.
Yeah, I should have given you the when you pulled out the hot butcher there, my friend.
Well, I was thinking shit. Now I can't see the label because I already opened it, but I just forced it. So with this one, their labels are cool, but they make it hard to read what the actual beer is. This is. What the hell does that say?
It's got like the color print on the color print where it's hard to read, doesn't it?
Yes.
They do that on some cans.
Scrap metal.
Okay.
So there you can see the scrap part right there.
I'm going to pull you up to the big screen. There you go.
Scrap.
Give it a little twirl. Show a little artwork. There you go.
There, and then the metal part starts there.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell does that even say? And there's the
you got the
double IPA. So
you cannot Citra El Dorado double hop double India Pale 7.5. What do you got on your backside there for the triangle stuff? There you go, off the hop. So I like how they designed that with the can where they do give you that kind of stuff. Just kind of if you're not knowing what to look for, it kind of gives you an idea.
I do like
what to check out.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, they got a pretty good artist they work with for designing those.
But I'm really excited for the second beer I'm going to open because I've never had anything from this brewery before.
Yeah.
Because I can't get it in my area, which I'm not sure who all can get it unless you buy it off of Tavor or one of the beer sites or whatever and get it delivered.
Well,
so I'll leave that to your imagination.
I've got you with that. And I got Tater in the comments teasing me as well. He's got the Pliny the Elder for the moment. So, so both of you guys can get a big old suck it. No, I'm just
on there because I saw a post on Facebook today that somebody was in the liquor store and they just had Pliny the Younger and Pliny the Elder and all kinds of shit on the shelves. So I got to assume they were out that way. I'm not really sure exactly where it was from, but I was like, oh, tease.
Yeah, I think they just brought out a special double dry hop version too out west. So some people have been getting into that. JT in the house with the big hoot at. What is up, JT? Happy Thursday to you. And the rest
JT.
odd, how was Chicago? You
Oh, it was
got
awesome.
a lot of good stuff to talk about with Chicago. So
Yeah,
you went to
yeah.
Dennis, you went to Hot Butcher, you went to Off Color, went to
But,
Bad Apple. How was that burger at the Bad Apple? Did I lie?
oh man,
Did I lie?
yeah, you might. That might be maybe if it's not the best burger I ever had, at least top 2 or 3 for me.
Yeah, that spot was the bomb for the burger. Oh my gosh. I can
So the
still
one I
taste it.
got had pulled brisket, like chopped brisket on it,
Mm.
barbecue sauce and cheese and whatever. I was like, oh man, it felt so heavy, but God, it was so good. I was like, oh. And then Shannon got what they call it, something Elvis something, but it was like peanut butter and jelly and
Oh, the Elvis burger. I saw that one on there too.
yes,
Yeah, yeah.
bananas I think cut up on it. She said it was amazing. I had a little bite of it. I was like, that was pretty good.
I'm gonna take you back off the main thing. I mean, you could do the whole show if you want. I'll sit back here and just.
Yeah, nobody wants to watch.
They're like, this guy should have a channel.
But JT jumped in and I we messaged on Facebook and stuff, whatever. But thanks to him and Liz for taking us around, on Sunday and Tuesday to breweries and whatnot. We had such a good time. It was great to meet them and hang out with them for a couple days and let them kind of, James kind of took us around and showed us some of Chicago. So that was very cool.
Oh, that was real cool with them. Yeah. When I was there, JT and Liz wanted us over to the Bad Apple as well. And they got some. They didn't get burger. They got something else that was really looked good too. I forgot.
And I was trying to think of what they got when we went there on that. We went there on that Tuesday. Or let's see.
I want to say when I went with them, they got the poutine. I think, but JT will let me know here.
Dang, I wish I didn't even realize they had the poutine. I'd have got some. I would have got that.
It was. Oh my God. They had a bunch of good stuff on the menu, but the burger, it was just like, and right across the street from Hot Butcher. I'm like, seriously, I just walked into Paradise, Illinois right here.
That's what Shannon said when we come back. She was like, I don't know that we had a meal that was bad.
Yeah.
Like, it's also good.
I think if I lived in that area, I might never leave that street. I'm just like right here. I go right there or right there, and I'm good. I'm happy.
So when we got to Chicago, Dovetail and the name of the brewery that's right next door to them, they like share a road right there. I forget the name of the brewery off the top of my head now. But anyway, they were doing an Oktoberfest, so they had a great big old concert thing going on, and there was a ton of people there, food trucks. It was awesome.
Oh wow!
So we met JT and Liz there then.
Metropolitan? Was it Metropolitan?
No, it wasn't Metropolitan.
Oh,
JT
said Beguile. He said Beguile.
Yes, Beguile.
Yeah.
So
we also has a good beer.
We went there, and of course, both of them were only serving their German style, Oktoberfest style beers.
Yeah.
So that night was kind of a wash of what they actually have on tap normally. But it was cool though. It was cool. And so after that, then when they took us to a pizza place, we got the Chicago style pizza.
Which one did you go to? The pizza.
We went to Pequod's.
Okay.
Pequod's.
So they didn't try to take you to the tours, Giordano's or anything. They're like, no, you want to go to this place. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and it was awesome. But we have a guy. Well, he's a general manager at the brewery we go to. That's up in. It's called Fistful of Ales, which I know you've heard us talk about.
Yeah,
before.
yeah.
And he's from Chicago, and he gave her a list of places to go. And one of the pizza places was Lou Malnati's, which we had the last night we were there. We had it delivered to our hotel, and Pequod's blew it out of the water.
Yeah.
I thought it was a lot better. There's just something about that pizza. I'm not sure what it was, but it was really good.
Something with the water off the lake that they use in the dough, maybe.
Yeah. And then Tuesday when we met back up with them, James came and picked us up, and Liz was working actually in downtown, so she was actually able to get off work like at 2:00 in the afternoon. So he came and picked us up, and then we went and picked her up, and then we went to all kinds of few different places there.
Yeah.
Which Hot Butcher was one of them, and we went across street to the Bad Apple and got food.
Yeah. A restaurant that will live with you for the rest of your life after you've been there once.
Mm-hmm. we had all these things planned to do, and I'm like, you know what that means? We're just have to make another trip or 2 or 4 to go back up there and hang out for the,
Right? I mean, because you're not that far. Like we used to go up almost once a
no,
year
no.
from Cincinnati to Chicago. So
I mean, from our door to the hotel was literally like 4.5 hours, I think.
you're closer than we were because we were like 5.5, I think.
And
Yeah.
that was because we got held up in traffic for about a good 35 minutes. So it probably would have been a 4-hour trip.
Shoot.
But
Yeah.
I'd say 4.5, just if you're just taking time, stop for gas, which we had to stop for gas. But yeah, it was great. We had a good time.
With JT said it was a pleasure meeting you both. We had a blast. JT and Liz, good people, good people. He said Sunday you went to Metropolitan and then off
Yeah,
color
Sunday was
before going to
Metropolitan.
quads. Yeah.
And off color. Yeah.
There's some pretty good ones there. So you didn't even have to go you didn't go Lagunitas. So you didn't get to flip the whole strip club thing. Or they not open yet still.
No, Lagunitas was open, and that was
Okay.
the one brewery that we really
Revolution?
No, the one they just opened the brewery there.
Guinness. Well, you went to Guinness. You went to Guinness.
Yeah. No, but
so we're gonna talk about that. Yeah, we'll talk. Yeah.
And Guinness was the 2 main ones we really wanted to hit.
Yeah.
And Lagunitas was closed Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. They didn't.
Oh, it opened to Thursday.
Until Thursday, which was when we were leaving, so we didn't even get to go there.
Yeah. Well, here Guinness is that way. Guinness is Thursday through Sunday.
And we went to Guinness. So no, we went there on Wednesday and they were open.
Yeah. Well, here, I mean, that's how they're set up here. So they probably do it. Up there, it might be a little different how they're doing the brew pub. But how'd you like Guinness?
To be honest with you, I mean, the brewery itself is nice. Like the inside is immaculate. Like it's super nice. But to be honest with you, out of all the places we probably went to, breweries and food and stuff wise, that was probably the worst one on the list.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Surprisingly.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's more.
They had their mainstay of beers that you can get pretty much anywhere now. But I know it's probably different to brewery. But their main, they had 4 or 5 other taps. And maybe because it's still fairly new, they haven't had time to. And maybe that's the way it is in Baltimore too. But they only had a handful of selection.
Well, they have here, they have special ones they make in Baltimore when we went. They had a couple different flights. But in Chicago, they were supposed to be adding beers you can only get in Chicago. So I thought you might have got a Chicago flight of something special.
No, they only had 3 on their menu. They only had 3 beers that they said were brewed in Chicago.
Okay.
And then they had 4 other ones, and then their main Guinness beers that their stouts that you can get.
Yeah, maybe it's just so soon for them. Still, they're still working out the kinks.
So I ordered the foreign extra stout, and then we had lunch, and then that was pretty much it.
How was the food? The food was pretty solid there.
The food was pretty decent. It was kind of overpriced, but it was pretty good. We got some kind of appetizer. It was pretty good, and then we split fish because after that we really wasn't that hungry, so we split a little bit of fish. So I had a couple bites of that, and it was okay. She just thought it was okay, but she's more of a fish eating connoisseur than I am, so she thought it needed to be cooked a little more to her liking. She likes it a little more crispy than what it was served.
Like the fish and chips is what she got.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I said, being newer, just opening, they might have been working out some bugs with it, but yeah, they should have been set to
I'm
go.
sure because
knowing the name.
Because they were still planting trees and doing all the, shrubberies and all that around the place when we were walking up to it. There's a lot of construction going on the outside, so that could have been part of it as well. But the brewery itself was cool. It was really cool, but I was as much impressed by the little, say podunk places out of the garage. It looks like that's just the garage. I was sitting there and hey, this looks like a good place to put a brewery. Let's do that. I kind of like that more than that was more at my alley than going to Guinness.
Yeah. But it was kind of one of those things since they opened, you kind of go there okay, I've been here, mark it off the list type thing too, right?
Yes, for sure. I mean, I would go back again and give it another try if we go back to Chicago, or if we're in Baltimore and give it a shot again, just to see.
Yeah.
Give it a little time because it is there. I don't usually like to go places unless they've been open. Unless they've been open for 3 or 4 months. To kind of work out the kinks and the bugs and stuff like that, and give them the staff time to act like themselves with,
Yeah.
not necessarily training on the job. But I didn't feel like they were trained on the job, but it was just, I don't know. I just wasn't as impressed with it as I thought I would have been going into.
Yeah. And you got a chance to go by Mal's, right? Ravinia? Did you get a chance? I thought you did Ravinia too when you were there, or
We reached out to Mel, and she was working pretty much all 4 days we were there, so we didn't get a chance to. JT was going to take us up there when he's like, it's only like a 30-minute drive, and I'm not sure why we ended up not doing that. We just decided not to.
okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what brewery she was at. I knew Mal was at Ravinia, but he was at a different one
Okay.
than where she was. So
I think we decided that we didn't want to drop in on her and distract her from working or whatever, and so we just didn't make the trip to go.
yeah, well, she's a manager now. She has
I
people
know,
that can do
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, we totally did it. Metropolitan was really cool, though. Did you go there? Have you been there?
I have not been to Metropolitan, no.
And he was telling us that they were found bankruptcy, which is kind of
yeah, Chapter 11. They're getting restructured, I think. So
that's right on. I guess it's a canal or I don't know, maybe a river right there, and they got a beautiful like deck on the backside. Like it's in the back of the brewery's all glass. It looks out. I mean, it's amazing, and the beer was pretty good. I was like, phew, I hate to see what kind of money they put into that place, or even what their rent or whatever is. It's like, man, I hate that.
Yeah, I've always heard.
I'm hoping they can restructure and work things out and whatever. But that was a cool place in general.
Yeah, all I heard about them was really good things. So hopefully they're able to get that restructured, and then no, it sounds like you had some pretty good ones. I mean, there were some. Obviously, you can't get them all when you're there, right? So you didn't get Revolution, you didn't Five Rabbit, or
well, Revolution was another one we were gonna try to go to, and I think it wasn't open until Wednesday.
Okay.
And we had a couple other things, just her and I, we were planning on doing, and we was like, yeah. Well, of course, we went to Guinness on Wednesday to have lunch, and then we did the.
I feel like the pandemic may have shifted some things for some of the stuff coming out of 2020 too.
So Revolution was we didn't get to that we wanted to go to. Of course, we went to Hot Butcher, which was totally on my list to go to. And of course, right there a lot of them were, we went back to Dovetail the Tuesday when they weren't doing.
Yeah, you went to Dovetail, which is another one I haven't been to yet, but I know a lot of good stuff from JT or from Dave. They talk about that being
that
favorite.
Yeah. That was good. Yeah, so I mean, I'd say all in all, we probably hit. Let's see, maybe 7 breweries while we're there, and that was probably in really a 2-day time frame, really, because Monday, because I got up for whatever reason, I got up at like 3:00 in the morning on Sunday, so we left at Sunday mornings. I tried to go back to bed, but I couldn't sleep for nothing. So by the time Sunday night came, I was exhausted. When JT dropped us back off, I was like, I was dead. So we got up Monday, and we walked to Guinness, which was about a mile from our hotel. So we walked to Guinness. They were closed.
Okay.
Guy goes, sorry, we're closed today. It didn't say on the website they were closed. He just said we're closed. So we ended up going to like a gaming place. It kind of reminded me of like a smaller like Dave and Buster's type thing without the arcade. So it had like I forget what the name of the place was, but it was really cool. It was kind of like an old style setting, and they had a really nice tap list in there. So we got lunch from there and had a beer, and then walked back to the hotel. And then, actually got an Uber back to the hotel.
Yeah,
because her ankle was bothering her, so we ended up getting a ride back. And we just kind of looked at each other, and she was like, "I think I'm gonna take a nap," and I'm like, "I'm lay down." I never take naps. I could probably count on my hand how many times I've taken a nap in the last 25 years. And we didn't wake up till like a little after 6. So we at least napped at least a good 3.5 hours. Because we were planning on doing the architectural boat tour that night or that evening. Right. We ended up falling asleep and waking up way too late. So then we ended up just going to Portillo's and getting dinner, and then just went back to the hotel, and we crashed like we were done. In fact, I was so tired and exhausted. I was afraid I had COVID or was coming down with COVID. But I guess I was just so tired and exhausted because when I woke up Tuesday, I was like, I felt like a new man. And that's when James came and picked us up, and I was like, I felt really good then. I was good to go. I was okay.
Listen, I think you're starting to get old on me there. You guys are getting old. Like I need to take a nap. I need to go put my Skechers on.
On vacation at that.
Yeah.
Hey, don't fuss on Skechers now. I like Skechers.
Well, I was saying, speaking of Skechers, it's funny because usually during lunch, I think like I usually work out and do cardio on the treadmill and stuff, and I need to get some new shoes. And I was like, when I was like, you know what? I've been hearing about these things. Let's check out these Skechers. So I ended up ordering my first pair of Skechers ever. It is just they're pretty comfortable.
Does yours have the shoestrings, or do they just slip on?
Oh, there's shoestrings, and they actually were pretty comfortable. I got to break them in a little bit more. I was almost starting to slide a little bit on the treadmill, but it was just like, man, first Skechers, wow! Like,
I'm getting old is when I'm like, I got a pair of shoes last fall, and they were a pair of. I forgot what they were now, but I had to tie them up, and the pair I had before that was Skechers, and they were just a slip-on kind.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm tired of tying these shoes. I'm gonna go back and get me some more Skechers so I can slip them on and just go. I ain't gotta worry about tying them, and the laces coming untied every 5 minutes. Right. How bad is that? How easy is that? Now you talk about lazy. That's laziness.
Yeah. So getting used to those now. And Gilbert was in the house at Cheers Fools and Dusty Rhodes Lovers. Yeah, I did that promo for tonight with the Dusty. I don't know if you saw that or not, the Dusty Rhodes one I put out there. I'm trying to get more to TikTok. Oh, you didn't see the one I did out there.
No, I didn't see that.
I don't know if I can pull it up here. It's funny because it's one of my shorts on the channel, but it's funny. Like they actually blocked in a couple countries, I guess, because of copyright, but I can still monetize. Like it was just a little promo thing anyway, but it was from 85 Starcade with Dusty Rhodes. So I kind of cut it to make it for our comeback thing. You have to I can pull it up here in a bit if you haven't seen it or just pull up the channel. Let's see. Then Tuesday went to Ravinia, Maplewood, Downtown Hot Butcher for getting burgers. So you did go to Ravinia, but JT said, but Mal may not have been working when you went.
Oh, does she work at Ravinia?
That's what she works at. I think that's the one she works at.
No, I don't think that's what it's called because
that's what. Well, maybe she just got beer from the last time. I thought that was one of them because she had 2 breweries. I thought Ravinia was one of them. Okay, maybe not. Maybe not.
She drives a long way to get there. Then from where they live, I'm taking her. I'm sure JT probably knows more.
And Maplewood, I heard also good things about too.
Yeah, Maplewood. So. I did get a couple 4-packs from them.
Okay. And then you said you're the North Branch of the Chicago River. Yeah.
So we were like 2 blocks from the river.
Yeah.
Where we stayed at.
When I went out there in June, we were on a boat cruise on the Chicago River, and everybody's going up to watch fireworks. I'm like, I'm staying out at the bar and gonna, just keep on drinking because the bar's right here. I'm not gonna go stand up there and be like, have to come back down the steps. So, and then next thing you know, I go back up and we're like on the lake. So we went through the river and then where it came out into the lake.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
When we did the architectural tour, what she wanted to do, because it gives you the history of a lot of the buildings and stuff. It kind of, one of the turnaround points was right there by the Navy Pier. So it was kind of right before you get into the big lake.
Yeah, JT says you went to the one in Chicago. She works at the original Highland Park. So it is Ravinia that she works at.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
For whatever reason, I didn't think that was. I didn't put the 2 and 2 together, I guess.
You went to Navy Pier.
No, we didn't go to Navy Pier.
You just turned around on the lake and you spied Navy. Okay.
We were gonna go there. We ended up not going.
Oh, there's no way you got through there and didn't get any Garrett's popcorn.
No.
So then you didn't get the popcorn. I was like, you were there. You were right there. You could have easily got some Garrett's popcorn.
So the funny thing was, where we stayed at, right across the street was a 7-Eleven. And then like a block down, you can see both of them from our window of our hotel room. So like a block away, it was like another 7-Eleven right there across the street. was like, that was weird. But we went in there one night and got a drink. I think it was on Tuesday night, or not Tuesday. I guess it was Monday night. We went and got us a drink, and we never even thought it slipped our minds. Because Shane goes, I bet they probably had that there. I was like, I'm guaranteed they probably totally had it there.
Yeah, they probably would have had like one of the smaller packs or something like that and everything.
Yeah.
But,
She was like, daggone if I should. I totally forgot. I was like, man.
When I asked you about it, I was like, I thought you might maybe find like a road exit or something where you might have a convenient thing if you weren't too far out of Chicago. You might have been able to grab it somewhere.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, but just another good thing to come back to Chicago for later on.
Right.
Yeah.
but I did check on Amazon. You can order it on Amazon.
Oh yeah, you can get it delivered. You can get the Garrett popcorn delivered.
So half of me was just tempted to order it on there and just to get it, just to be like, man, now what am I missing here? What am I missed out?
But you got to do Chicago style, the caramel and the cheddar cheese together.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, that's what. You didn't get a Chicago style hot dog while you were there?
I didn't, but she did. When we went to Portillo's, that was the reason why we went to Portillo's. Was she wanted to get the Chicago style hot dog.
Did she ask for ketchup on it?
She didn't. She got it as they served it. She said,
they go crazy in Chicago if you ask for ketchup on a hot dog.
So the funny thing was when she took her first bite or so, and I was like, "Is it good?" She's like, "It's okay." I'm like, "It's just okay." And then she took like another bite. I guess all the ingredients.
It had the pickle and everything on it, like it was a Chicago style.
Yeah, pepper and the, or I guess relish. I guess maybe relish and pepper. I'm not really sure what all it had on there. So she got like another bite into it, and then she goes, "Oh." So I guess all the ingredients must have been more towards the middle because the second or third bite, she's like, "Yeah, this is pretty freaking good."
I'm saying, Chicagoans know how to eat. That's all I'm going to say. They know how to eat. So
that's what we laughed as we was walking around downtown. We were like, "How does not everybody weigh 400 pounds walking around here?" And then I said, "Well, they probably don't weigh that because they got to walk everywhere they
got to walk everywhere.
Are you going to pay $100 to park somewhere?"
This is all winter prep. They start bulking up for the winter when it gets so cold.
Yeah, it's a possibility. Yeah.
Then they hibernate.
So then that Wednesday evening on our final night, we went to. She wanted to go to the planetarium, so we went to the planetarium, which is when you look out the door or come out, get up on the steps to go into it. You turn around and you see the Chicago skyline, and it was amazing. Like just seeing the Chicago skyline. Which right there was Navy Pier, kind of across the, I would say bay, but across the water, because they both kind of extend out into the water. And so when we went in, it was daytime. By the time we got out, it was dark and all the lights were on. And I was like, it was beautiful. We took some pictures of that and it was nice.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't realize Soldier Field was right there too. Because I feel like when I've been there before, I was thinking it was closer to like Midway or something, or more.
It's just like outside, like the little part of the city there, kind of. Because I remember we did the double-decker tour that took us by Soldier Field years ago.
Yeah. So I mean, we went right through the parking where you parked for Soldier Field to get to the planetarium, which I'm sure we probably parked where people park to go to the football game. I'm sure most of the time. I didn't realize it was there though, because. I mean, it's not it's the same old Soldier Stadium from a long time ago, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess I don't know what I was thinking of then, because I was thinking when I went there for work years ago. Like I said, I've been to Chicago, I don't know, 6-7 times, but I've never been to downtown before.
Yeah.
For fun and just hang out. I've always been on the outskirts, visiting customers and stuff. But I felt like we drove by.
Yeah, if you ever go out when it's like Halloween, it's a pretty fun city for Halloween. At least it was years ago when I've been there. Yeah,
I bet. And the only thing we didn't do that we wanted to do, and I tried to talk her into doing it every day, was ride the L.
Oh yeah.
Just to experience it one time. And actually, I was wanting to do the L from our hotel to like where JT's at. We're Hot Butcher and some of the breweries there and meet them there, and we just never did.
She was afraid we're gonna get lost. You're gonna get lost on it or something like.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, to us,
I don't think she worried about getting lost. She was more like worried about getting lost.
No, and then we were. We was kind of confused because from being on the outside looking in, I was like, it was kind of confusing because there's so many. Got the red line, the brown line, the whatever different colors. Like, what we wasn't sure what to do. So, and we asked JT about it a couple times, and he told us, I think it was the brown line or the green line. I forget which one it was. Now he's like, take that and you'll be fine, because it just loops around the city. But we never did.
Start thinking back to episodes of ER. What did they ride on ER? By the way, the beer I did crack open, for those of you watching, Rusty Rail and their Fog Monster. So I'll have a review coming up for them. You got to give it up. They have some pretty cool artwork with Rusty Rail.
I was going to say, that artwork's pretty cool.
Yeah, so this one, New England IPA, 6.8% ABV. So I'm definitely pretty light tonight. I'm just like light beer for me, 6.8%. So
yeah, we both kind of started off mediocre tonight.
Yeah. Got to change that up at some point, right? You got Wayne in the house. Cheers, Wayne. What's up? Happy hour on Thursday. Don't forget to toss one back. Cheers, y'all. Cheers, my friend. Y'all haven't checked out Wayne, make sure to check him out. Wayne's Beer Delivery and his podcast as well, which I've been listening to. I actually got a list I'm building out on Good Pods, and I have that on there, so I got to finish that. But great stuff they're doing down in South Carolina. Got Dee Dee in the house. What's up, homie? Got the Carolina fellas falling in back to back. North Carolina, South Carolina. So cheers, homie. Great to see you as always. We had such a blast when he was up here a couple months ago as well, and definitely got to connect again. And we're doing a little temp work to buy golf equipment and comics.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know. We were talking. He's here. He's actually in the process of retiring on stuff. So I think, and so now he's got extra time to do what? Play golf and read comics.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Speaking of comics, the new Marvel movies coming out. The Marvels. I never saw the one Captain Marvel where it was just Brie Larson, kind of as a feature, but then they got the one with her teaming up with the other two Marvels, and they get all different stuff happening now. So,
well, let me tell you this: you didn't miss anything on that not watching the movie, because it was by far, in my opinion, probably the worst Marvel movie of any of them.
Really, you think it was that bad? Like I tried to watch, and it's DC, but I tried to watch Wonder Woman 1984, and I cut that off like 20 minutes in. Like I just I can't do it. I can't go any further with this movie.
That's kind of what I did with Captain Marvel. I watched maybe an hour of it, and I'm like, I'm done. I couldn't get into it. It was bad. In my opinion, it was bad.
Yeah.
Now, there might be other people out there who are like, oh, maybe it was great, but it wasn't for me.
I'm just waiting for the Daredevil to come back, because that'll be pretty cool, because they got the same guy from Netflix, and then they got John Barenthal who did the Punisher role. He's going to be in it. Then they got Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin again, who will be in it. So that should be pretty cool. And they're going to be introducing who's in that one, because Wolverine is actually going to be in a Deadpool movie. But they got somebody else, because they're starting to tie them all together, where now you're going to start having people in the same universe and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So I think someone might have mentioned it might be Blade, might be a cameo with Blade in that as well. Because he's actually kind of based out of the New York area too. So it'll be interesting as they're trying to tie these things together. But Deadpool 3, that's the other one I'm looking forward to seeing there, especially with Wolverine in there.
That will be interesting.
Yeah. So
I didn't realize he was supposed to be in that.
Yeah, and it's kind of because he said he retired the character or whatever, but I think the character he got is kind of, I think he's like in a part of it as a maybe older Wolverine, but then there's somebody's being introduced as a younger. I don't got the whole storyline with it, but they're kind of doing a couple things with it, and it's hard to think of somebody else not being Wolverine besides him. But they got to figure out somebody at some point.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is he playing Wolverine in this one?
I think he is Wolverine in this one. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but I still think Logan was such a great movie. I mean, that was like that would have been the one that ended all when he did that with Patrick Stewart. So it's kind of weird seeing him bringing back Wolverine again. Emerson's in the house. Cheers. We're going to war, so let's get some Rod and Todd. Cheers. Well, hopefully not, but there's definitely some thoughts I've had around some of that stuff taking place there and everything. It's kind of been a little crazy. I don't know if earlier today, not to spend a bunch of time on it, but I saw that apparently our destroyer over there had shot down like 3 missiles that were being shot from I can't remember the country it was. It wasn't Lebanon. It was another country, I think. They thought it might have been heading toward Israel. So great. Now we're firing on rockets, so that's not going to bode well. And then you got the American embassy already having protests outside of Lebanon, which I was expecting that to happen once Biden went over there to do everything, because then it's like we're taking a side. But it's just kind of some crazy stuff taking place. Wheat and chocolate stout done for the night, laying tomorrow. You're done for the night just after a wheat and chocolate stout?
Dang.
Come on, Didi, you're better than that.
I know. Must have a really good time.
I mean, it's wheat, so it couldn't have been a real high ABV on that one. Yeah, Captain Marvel was bad. Loki's the best series movie quality. Yeah, I heard Loki was really good, and I just started their second season, I guess.
I've never watched it.
Yeah, I mean, he plays a good character in the movie, so I can see where the series would be good. I never watched the Scarlet Witch series, but I heard that was really good as well. The Olsen that plays her from the Marvel comic. Watching the Saints game on crappy Amazon Prime, my jury is still out of Derek Carr, who isn't much better than old Andy Dalton. I saw the Andy Dalton years at Cincinnati, before he went to the Cowboy years. Yeah, he's always been kind of the same.
I've got it on too.
I got one good throw in me. One good throw.
In some of the football games.
Yeah, apparently the Dallas fans were happy last week because they finally got a win again. I say that they're like 4-2 now, but it seems like they don't win easy. They're playing Wolverine, and for us, right, he's in the yellow and blue for this one. Yeah, so it's kind of going to be interesting to see. So, but I'm glad they're finally introducing the universe, because then the other thing is the Fantastic Four, which they've struggled with movies for that series. They think they finally got the perfect cast to play it, so we'll see. But Jim from The Office is like the lead character, Rex Reed or whatever, for the Fantastic Four, which I think he can actually pull it off after seeing the stuff he's done with the what's the show that he did? It wasn't the character that Tom Cruise played. It was some, not Jack Reacher, but some other show that he did where he's like a Tom Clancy type character.
Oh, daggone it. I can see it, and I can't think of the name of it now. I know.
I can't think of the show. I never watched the show, but everything I've seen and heard about it, it seems like he did a pretty good job.
Hang on. It's going to drive me crazy now.
I would try to spell his last name, but he's got one of those names where it's like you need years to learn how to write that. Maybe I put Jim from The Office series.
Yeah. Was it?
Jim Halpert was the character, but who played him? What's his name? John Krasinski.
Yep. We were watching it too for a little bit.
What is this here?
What I'm thinking of.
I'm trying to see what the show is here. Jack Ryan. That's what it was. Jack Ryan.
Yes. We watched. We're on the final season of that one.
Okay. I tried to watch that movie.
Think what the name of it was, but yeah.
I think it was like last year or whatever. The Quiet Place. He was in that, where the people couldn't make any noise. I was like, I can. 15 minutes in, like I'm out. Like it's just like it was so ridiculous. Like, well, no, it's just like the stuff they would even do is just like, do you not know you make a noise, a creature's gonna? It's just like the common sense was falling off for me.
Right.
And then watching that, and I was like, how can I sit in here this long and actually watch this? It just wasn't. Then they made A Quiet Place too, and I'm like, I don't even want to try to watch that.
I was gonna say, then they made a second one.
Yeah, but it's got like high Rotten Tomatoes and stuff too. I'm just like, I don't know how people fall to be, because I'm just.
I mean, we watched I don't. Did we watch the second one? I can't remember if we did or not. That's how memorable it was. We watched the first one and it was okay. I mean, it wasn't. I didn't think it was terrible, but it wasn't. Didn't knock me off my feet or anything. But
yeah, I just feel like it was too much for me to try to actually.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see how somebody would be turned off by that or whatever. Because I kind of was a time too. I was like, I don't know. And we just kept on through, and I was like, it's not bad. Like, it was decent, but
I felt like they were attacking my intelligence. I felt like when I was watching that film. Like, seriously, like you're making me dumber watching this. I feel like, Although I did fall into watching the new Walking Dead shows, although I debated it, I ended up watching the Daryl one after watching the Maggie and Negan one, and they were kind of interesting. Now they got the Rick and Michonne one that's about to start, so have to see how that falls out.
Yes, I've thought about whether I was going to watch any of the spin-off ones, but I never did finish all the Walking Dead because I just got tired of it.
Yeah. Well, I will say the
all there, and I was just like, this is for years. It was like, this is not going anywhere. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Well, the one with Daryl is kind of interesting, just because if you're watching into it, now you have a thing where what he's actually doing and leading to might actually be the thing that frees up the zombie type. I don't want to spoil it or whatever, but it's kind of interesting how he got looped into it and what the storyline is. So, although at points it's in France, and I feel like I'm watching like a zombie Moulin Rouge, because just some of the stuff, it gets a little artsy and stuff, because it's like, just because they're in France, you don't have to make it like it's a French type play. You can still keep it Americanized. Like, I don't want to see all this stuff and hear all the violin type music in the band. Like, I'm not there for the culture. I'm there for the zombies.
Right. Yeah.
I'm there for the grotesque violence, So yeah, but it's kind of interesting. They got some pretty decent characters on there, so better than I thought it might be.
Is the whole season complete yet or no?
Yeah, I just finished the first season of that.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Janice.
I like Daryl, so that one I could maybe kind of watch because I always like his character.
Yeah, Daryl's the Daryl. I mean, I would say they try to soften him a little bit here, but Daryl's going to Daryl.
Yeah,
so he's going to do what he's going to do. So yeah.
Right.
Just when you think he may change it, nope, he's going back to being Daryl. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. Dee Dee said the first one was all right, but the second one was not good. Talking about A Quiet Place. Don't watch The Exorcist. Latest movie, terrible. Wasted 2 hours of my life. Half around a golf going forever. Yeah, I heard the new Exorcist movie was not good as well. So yeah, take that off the list. I tell you, the scary movie, as we're in Halloween month, and the movie chain that's actually got it going right now is those couple that does like The Conjuring and The Nun.
Yeah.
Like they seem to be killing it with some of the horror movies. People seem to be liking the stories those two are doing. So, which I've enjoyed the ones I've seen from them. So I haven't seen them all, but I've seen a couple. But yeah, it's almost time for Halloween. Speaking of which, I was going to wait to see if Mal was going to be here, but we'll see if she makes it at some point. Wow, it's only 8:44 right now. I thought it was even later than that. Crazy. Next week, so I already told you there. So next week, happy hour live stream will be the pumpkin beer special. So we'll get pumpkin beers, and then if people want to join with pumpkin beers, feel free, because they have to do it before Halloween, right? So we'll do that then. Get it out of our system. Maybe we can get Joe on, because Joe's a pumpkin fiend. He does a whole week of pumpkin beer, so maybe we can get Joe to show up. And then, so if you have any pumpkin favorites, feel free to let me know and see if I can try to maybe get those, or we may share for next week. And have no idea what I'm going to try to pick up here, but I definitely got a lot of the store. I know that. I've been seeing the pumpkin beers out there. Have you picked up any yet for this year?
No, not really. Other than just a couple we drank on the show a couple weeks ago. Then we do, what was it? October. Well, those are Oktoberfest.
Oktoberfest, yeah.
But I mean, outside of that, kind of in that same realm, I guess. But no, I've not picked up any true like pumpkin ales or anything.
Yeah, we had to get the Oktoberfest beers out before we can get to the pumpkin beers.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's definitely a protocol. You can't be jumping ahead. This isn't a Christmas story. Can't just jump to the triple dog dare. You got to build your way up to it.
Build up to it. Yes.
There's no moving ahead. So yeah.
Dalton's out there just throwing it to the wrong team every single time.
Who is it? Andy Dalton?
Is it Dalton? Is it Dalton that's playing?
Or was it Derek Carr?
Oh, it might be Carr. I don't know.
I thought it was Carr that JT said Carr. Let's say Benjamin brought Dalton.
Oh, maybe it was Carr. I just heard you say Dalton. I was thinking it was Dalton, but he just keeps throwing it. I mean, the Jaguars haven't picked anything off yet, but he just keeps throwing it to them, and they just keep knocking it down.
I wish West Virginia would have done that last Thursday night. Like, why are you trying to catch the interception? Knock it down as a Hail Mary. Gilbert says, I'll eat pumpkin pie and drink quads. Really good pumpkin quad out there, maybe. Somebody had to try to mess with it somehow.
I would think so.
A year without Anchor Christmas ale. Sad blue Christmas. Yeah, first year without having that. Unless you had it cellared somewhere.
I guess, I mean, where would you put Pumpkin and the Warlock?
What do you mean?
Pumpkin ales, or would you consider those sort of as an October, even though it's not Oktoberfest because they're stouts, but.
Oh, no, they're definitely pumpkin beers. Yeah, they're pumpkin ales.
I mean, I guess I'd have to throw those in there because I did have that.
Yeah.
Those were pretty good.
Well, you had the caramel thing too, right? I remember.
Oh, yeah.
So you had that one as well. So
her
I haven't tried that yet. Maybe I'll try to pick that up for next week.
Yeah, that was pretty good. So when we got back in town last week, me and Shannon and her brother, we went out. Was it Friday or Saturday? I can't remember which day it was now. But we went to a few breweries and stuff, and we went to a. Do you have World of Beer?
Not even. When I was in Cincinnati, there was one, but it closed down. They don't have it here that I saw.
So that's where I had a Warlock at. I had a Warlock there. We got a World of Beer in Louisville, so we went over there, and I had one of those, but I forgot about that caramel one that I had on the show not that long ago too. So that was the reason why I was asking.
Yeah. So number 4 is Carr for the Saints. JT said,
okay.
So that's what you're saying. It's Carr.
I just happened to look up, and I was like, his hair doesn't look right enough to be.
Maybe Derek's out and David's covering for him. Maybe David came back to play for.
He kind of had like the old trying to grow a porn stash type look, and I looked up. I was like, "That's not Dalton." I was thinking, well, maybe it is. I don't know.
That's Aaron Rodgers. He snuck out of New York.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to wait too if it wasn't for those kids. Yeah. And he said, I don't celebrate Christmas, but you do Christmas ale. In a way, that'd be kind of celebrating. Just saying. Happy Yuletide, DD James said, yeah. Simo, cheers, my man. Happy Thursday. Well, happy Friday to you now. So up late in the UK there. Seeing to you, my friend. I might not celebrate it, but I'll take it off. He'll take the holiday gladly, right? Yeah.
Right.
Well, you don't celebrate, you come to work. No. I will take that day off. Thank you very much. And I need to crack open another beer here. Oh, Dalton's back up for Carolina now. Oof. Yeah, that's a team that's definitely strong. I used to be a Carolina fan, and they are really off the rails now. So now I'm trying to think.
Frank Reich's their head coach. Like, why would you take the coach that couldn't survive in Indianapolis? Why would you want him?
Frank Reich's biggest claim to fame was coming back in that game against Houston in the playoffs with the Bills. Remember that? They were up down like 38-3 or something.
Oh, yeah.
And he brought him back and won the game, like, because Kelly got hurt, he got benched or whatever. Frank Reich came in and pulled him back, and they ended up winning it.
I think he got hurt or something. I forgot what the deal was, but yeah.
course, the Bills still didn't win a Super Bowl, but I don't know. Would it be worse to lose 4 Super Bowls like the Vikings, or the Bills and lose them 4 straight? Like the Vikings were spread out through the 70s, right? The Bills were 4 straight years of not being able to win one.
That in itself's impressive, but I mean, come on, man, you got to at least get 25% of that, right? Like that's just one win out of 4 years. Like you just got to at least win it one time.
I mean, literally 4 straight years of being a runner-up at the big game.
But I mean,
First,
to be there 4 years in a row, that's pretty solid. But to not win it, that's like, wah, wah, wah. Here's the runner-up again. So,
oh yeah, I think I would prefer that to 4 years spread out. 4 in a row, yeah,
that'd be heartbreaking. Yeah, as Ricky Bobby said, you ain't first or last. So they're last 4 years in a row.
And they had quality teams during the 90s when that happened. It was just it wasn't your time,
Bruce Smith, Thurman Thomas, like they were.
Yeah.
Jim Kelly, they were a beast mode for sure.
Yeah.
What's the better question?
Oh, well, JT said actually they were 3 out of 4 years, and so they did it. Well, they had 2 back-to-back. Well, they had one spread from the 2 others, because 2 of those years they were back-to-back, and then 1 year they weren't, and then the other one came whatever a few years later or
back-to-back.
Before, right?
That was when they were the purple people eaters, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And you have Fran Tarkenton running around and driving defenses crazy, but they couldn't pull it out. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so. It would be the harder questions, like that. Those 2 teams made it to basically, you might as well say 4 consecutive Super Bowls, even though the Vikings had a year in between.
Yeah.
What were the 4 teams that actually beat them? Do you remember like who beat the Bills?
I know Cowboys were 1.
Well, yeah, they were 1 because they were
at least 1. Giants were 1. Giants beat them the year Norwood missed a kick. The first.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, because that was the Giants' second Super Bowl.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Did the Cowboys beat them twice? Maybe.
That's what I was going to say.
I think Cowboys beat them twice.
Because I know they won it like 3 times in about a 6-year span, and so they might have beat them twice in that year.
Yeah, I think they beat them twice. Because the other Cowboys one was against the Steelers because Neil O'Donnell threw those 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
So 2 were against the Cowboys. I can't remember who the other one was. Redskins.
Was it the Redskins?
Yeah.
So they lost all 4 games of the same division.
Yeah, well, that's like Tom Brady. His Super Bowl losses are all to Eli, NFC East, or it was to the Eagles. So
yeah. NFC East is a brutal team to face, a team from the NFC East is brutal to face in the Super Bowl.
I wonder if Eli ever teases Peyton over that. Like they're sitting around, like, hey, the Tom Brady years still mess with you? I mean, I got him twice. I know I beat him. I know.
I
know you struggled.
You just lost in a regular season game. I beat them both in the Super Bowl, so it's like, okay.
In the playoffs to get the Super Bowl, so he's like.
I totally would dangle it over his head. I'm like, In fact, I think we lost the year that we won the Super Bowl. I think we lost to the Patriots that year.
Eli's inviting Tom over for Thanksgiving dinner just to sit there, look at Peyton across the table.
Oh, I would totally. And you know how aggravated Peyton would get over that too. Be like,
oh. Of course, Tom wouldn't be as happy because I'm like, you're the guy I couldn't beat twice.
You're right.
Yeah.
Waiting for you, I'd have had 2 more rings.
Which actually, for Eli to beat him in both games, took a miraculous catch to even keep it alive.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Oh man, I would rib Peyton every single time I see him. Like every Monday night on their Monday night show, or whatever. I'd be like, oh hey.
Oh,
I throw a jab in there.
As great as Archie was, Archie couldn't get to one. So yeah, which is funny because like you're a Hall of Fame quarterback, you couldn't not even once get to the Super Bowl. Because even like Dan Marino got to it once. It was his rookie year, but at least he got to the big stage.
I'm interested to see how Arch Manning's career is going to turn out.
They're talking about how good he is. Yeah,
I know that's what I mean. Like I'm kind of curious to see
has he
how.
declared with college yet? Oh, he's going. Isn't he going out south? I think he chose Mississippi State or Ole Miss or something.
Did he? Well, I was thinking Ole Miss, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm not sure.
I was thinking that, or that, or A&M. It was somewhere down south. I thought he was kind of looking to go to, from what I heard.
I'll look it up real quick and see. Let's see.
I'm going to crack open another beer. I just don't know if I want to go stout or stick with the IPAs.
Oh, he's at Texas.
Oh, he went Texas. Okay, so not A&M, but Texas.
So I pulled it up and it said, "Why isn't Arch Manning starting for Texas?"
Whatever, we got a good quarterback right now.
Like that's what I was thinking. I was like,
well, not good enough to beat Oklahoma, but was our buddy Robert the Whiskey Scout had to love that. The wheels did not come off the wagon this year, so they were able to pull out that win. But I'm going to actually crack open the old school. Well, as I say old school, because I write old school. But it's one that's been around for a good amount of time. And most people, you might consider old school, you think of craft beer. Dogfish Head and the 60-minute IPA that I picked up.
Nice. God, I haven't had that in forever.
Yeah. I was like, let's get one of those. I haven't had that for a good amount of time. In the 19.2 ounce can, because that's what all the cool kids are doing nowadays.
Of course.
Yeah. I don't really want a bomber, but I want more than 12 or 16. Well, we got just the size for you. 19.2 ounce of goodness.
We'll throw in a couple more ounces and charge you a couple more dollars just because we can.
Yeah.
Okay, deal.
I would say, though, for $2.99 a can, though, not bad. So,
I can't beat that.
Over there. It's a team sport. Archie Manning never even played for a winning team, right? Well, he had talent. It's just he never had talent around him.
That's a true statement right there. That's a true statement.
But yeah, this is definitely a classic. I love these glasses, especially with a beer like this. Get a nice streaming action from being nucleated.
I swear this Amazon Prime fades in and out picture-wise is so bad.
That just still blows my mind that they would do an agreement with something that not everybody just has easy access to. I mean,
JT, I don't know about on your TV as you're watching it, but when I'm looking over it, it gets pixelated, like it's just all, and then it just
it goes by the internet signal and stuff. So yeah,
like I didn't even see what happened on a touchdown because I couldn't. It just stopped and then it showed up and then they scored. I was like, what just happened?
Fantasy players want to know: did I just get points?
I know because I got ETN. I was like, yes, he scored again, but I also have Trevor Lawrence in another league, and I'm like, did he throw it or was that a handoff? I didn't know what it was. I was like, either way, I get ETN for a touchdown, but I want to know if he got a throwing touchdown too.
JT said, yeah, Amazon Prime sucks. So yeah, unless you're like watching like The Boys or some other shows or something like that on Prime, I don't know if I would want to watch it for a sporting event. Although they do have the spinoff of The Boys on now. I haven't watched that series yet either.
Must have been another handoff. Well, that doesn't help me none.
ATN just got a bump on Madden, I saw. They came out with, like, it's so funny now. Just like the video games of Madden now versus when Madden first came out. Like, it's just like a totally different thing. Like, now each week they adjust their ratings based on how they actually did in real life. So Travis Etienne got bumped up. I guess he had a good week last week or whatever. He got bonus points where it's like his overall got increased, his speed or his agility or whatever.
Yeah, he had a really good week last week. I don't know if he had – I think he may have had 3 touchdowns, but I know he had like 250 or 60 yards total or something like that. It was a really good week for him.
He was always tough at Clemson too, so not surprised. So did the Saints. Yeah, Saints are stuck in 2 right now, huh? I've actually got the college game on. It's James Madison versus Marshall. When talking about also show programming, so I posted in the posting board, the community tab earlier. Great things happening coming to the show next week, and I'll have a thing put up here about the weekend. A brewery that I'd be surprised if people didn't have this beer at some point, some of their beers. Next Wednesday on the 25th at 8 p.m. Eastern, I will have Left Brewing Company's head brewer, Gary Glass, on as a guest for a live stream event. So
Nice.
if you have questions about Left Hand Brewing, make sure to tune in or post stuff, and we'll get Gary to answer some stuff there as we dig into the beers they're doing from out there in Colorado. Left Hand, one of the I don't know what their ranking is now. I know in 2021 they were one of the top 50, I think 47, if I remember correctly, for craft breweries here in the States. And I think they might be just outside 50 right now with some of the shakeup, but definitely one of the long-standing craft breweries that has been around for a while, still making great beers. Actually, I got one of their wake-up beers I'll be doing a review on upcoming here shortly as well. And then we're going to be talking about some of their beer releases. They just got a medal at the Great American Beer Fest, so they're actually shooting me that beer so I can check that out as well and do a review. But that should be a pretty cool time next week. So again, that's next Wednesday at 8 Eastern, Left Hand Brewing Company. Probably of the brewery people I've had on, it's probably the biggest brewery I think I've had on here. So, I mean, I've had Eric on before from Lord Hobo, but they're more regional, and done stuff with Mad Tree, but Mad Tree is more regional. I mean, this is actually a nice national, pretty much. I say national, they're out of Colorado, but it's like they're everywhere for the most part, right? So this will be pretty awesome. So look for that. I'll have some stuff up on the channel talking about it this weekend, and then sharing that out there. Independent Joe in the house. Cheers, my friend. Great to see you. I know you're probably enjoying some pretty good whiskey tonight. I actually got some whiskeys here. I need to ask you about some of that stuff too. Like, what do you look for in a whiskey as well, independent, when you're picking up stuff? If you guys haven't checked out Independent Joe, make sure to check out his channel. I just picked up a Mexican whiskey that actually caught me off guard. It was one that I picked up at one of my spots. And the guy was like, well, I got an open bottle if you want to taste it. And he poured it in. It was really smooth. So I ended up getting that. And then I picked up a couple other bottles. So I just picked up one of the, let me see. I can't remember. Elijah Craig. I just picked up an Elijah Craig.
Oh, yeah, I like Elijah Craig.
Yeah, I haven't done that in a while either. So
nice.
Old friend Ray from NOLA just says, seems like old times.
Unfortunately.
But I'm trying to get a little bit more involved in some of the whiskey type stuff.
All right, so I'm ready to open up my second can. Any thoughts? Any thoughts of who the brewery might be?
Say it again. Give me the clue.
So they're a well-known brewery. I'm not sure. Only place I can get them is if you go into like one of the beer websites, like Tavor or whatever, and get them shipped to here. They're out west. I'll say this: they're out west.
Out west.
And they're big in a specific style of beer, which I'm about to have, but I can't tell you the style because that might give it away.
So is it Pliny that you got? Because you were talking about Pliny. No? Okay. IPA style?
No.
Okay. Because out west.
It's a sour. I'll say that. It's a sour.
Well, it's not 450 North.
No.
Because, I mean, they're in your state, so.
Yeah, they're northwest.
Jeez.
And you see people trade for them all the time or buy them all the time.
It's not Imprint because they're east. They're out where I'm at.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the sour breweries. It's not Urban Artifact because that's northeast. That's Cincinnati.
You'll go, oh, I didn't even think about them. But you'll know exactly who it is as soon as.
What state is it? Can I buy a state?
Well.
Oh, JT may have hit it actually. He said Drecker,
Yes.
North
But that's
Dakota.
not fair because I've got it in Chicago, so he knows. He knew who it was. that wasn't fair. That wasn't fair.
Drecker's pretty solid, yeah.
So that's the one I picked up.
That is.
I went to Benny's and grabbed a shit ton of beer from there.
I've had the Brains Frozen. But it wasn't under Drecker. It was somebody they collabed with. It was a different one I think I had. You're gonna like that.
So this one, yeah, passion fruit and pineapple and banana. Was that Brains with the long A's? Brains. Can art's pretty cool though. I do like the can art.
You said the magic word too.
Double fruit smoothie sour, and this one comes in at, let's see. I do like on the back of that. I just noticed that on the back they also list like the malts and stuff on their can also, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Let's see, where's the one that I had?
I know it's got to be on there surely.
The one I had was actually done from King's Brewing Company with Drecker, and it was the Brains Frozen 7% ABV.
Oh, okay.
And the one that I had might be the same one that you actually have. Hold your can up again. Yeah, yours is more of a different type version than one that I had, but this is the one I had there. It was kind of like that.
Oh, okay.
But King's was the one listed, and then they did it with Drecker, where Drecker did that one. So I think Drecker teams up with different breweries on it.
So I think Drecker did a collab with 450 North for their Corn Fest or Corn Maze Beer Fest a couple weeks ago. I think they did a collab. They did a collab with a bunch of people for that thing, but I think Drecker was one of them for one of their slushy beers. So it does say ale with passion fruit, pineapple, banana, lactose, sea salt, and vanilla bean.
Ooh, vanilla
but
bean.
I don't see where it has the ABV listed, unless I'm just missing it.
Oh, they may not put it on there.
I mean, probably not.
JT said, I only guessed that because I saw your pick.
Oh. Yeah, right, that's true. He went back and looked at the went back and looked at what I sent, what I picked up. Cheater.
He's a Google machiner.
Let's see if Untapped has the ABV. I may have just missed it, but
it might be like mine was, because a lot of times they run the same.
There's a lot of writing on there, and sometimes they kind of hide it in there. So it's 5.8.
Oh, yours is 5 points. So mine was bigger than yours then. That's what she said.
Shocker. Nobody likes a bragger rod again.
I see one at 6.1. Let me see. Is this the one? Which one do you have? Is it a cherry? Is it the chunk?
No, it's passion fruit, pineapple, banana.
Passion fruit. Okay. Yeah, the one I saw here was a watermelon, guava, and lime.
But it starts out with the name Brains with a bunch of A's in there.
Yeah, that's the same like mine did there.
Yeah.
I need to get you some of the imprint beers for the sours. They're pretty solid.
We get them every now and again, which is weird.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, they're out of PA, so it wouldn't be too far to be distributed.
In fact, let's see. I think I've gotten those a few times before. I could be wrong. Hell, you drink so many beers after a while you forget if you've actually had them or you just want to have them.
I've never had that happen. Not.
Maybe. Okay, maybe I'm thinking of something else then. Doesn't look like I've ever checked any of those in.
Like the smoothies, as they call them.
Yeah, no, I totally did get those. Then I just haven't. There's so many beers on here. Let me go to my list of beers I have had. That'd be the easier way to look it up, wouldn't it?
That could work. I'm still surprised no one ever brought out like one of those beers having Wolford Brimley on it because some of them are so damn sweet.
Oh, I know. So I did have the Schmoogie coconut banana pineapple.
Oh, how was that one? You like that one?
I gave that a. For some reason, it didn't. For some reason, it didn't give a rating on there. I don't know why.
You might have been drunk, son.
Oh, no, it was a collab with King's Brewing Company.
Okay, so that was like me on the Kings here with Drecker.
Yeah, so for whatever reason, I didn't.
Was it a beer fest, maybe at a taster or something?
You know, that might have been what it was. To be honest with you, because I didn't put anything descriptions or anything with it. It was back in it was last year, back in May of last year. I'm trying to think. For some reason, I'm thinking we got like just a handful of imprint stuff that came in, and when I went to the liquor, and I feel like if I remember right, I went to the liquor store and that was all they had left, so I got it. But why I didn't give it a rating, I have no idea. But anyway, I checked it in. I just didn't give it a rating. So it looks like that was the only imprint that I have had. So,
Okay.
But I feel like we do get drops every now and again from them, but it's every once in a great while. Of course, that one looks like it's been since last year, but doesn't mean we haven't gotten any before then. I just don't get there in time to get them.
JT says, check out the channel Shut Up Football. They got this hilarious roast of last week's NFL highlights. Some reason in my mind makes me think of the old Jimmy Kimmel, the bad tweet segment when he'd have celebrities retweet tweets about it that people had typed.
Yeah. Oh, this beer's so good.
So you get a nice feel of this sourness. I think on the one I had, I give it like a 4.5 out of 5.
This is like a perfect type of sour. Like it's not over the top, where it's kind of like Warhead type sour, where you almost too much,
Yeah.
But it's just sour enough to let you know, like, hey, I'm a sour, not just a fruited beer or whatever. So it's like a good balance. And usually I can tell after I take the first drink, I'm like, if it's too sour, sometimes it kind of starts hurting my stomach a little bit.
Yeah.
But this one, and then I say it won't after a while, but early on, it's really good.
Man, it looks like orange juice in your glass right there.
Get a big feel of the pineapple up front on the first sip. And I definitely get more of like the fruited pineapple, passion fruit type. Let's see. Maybe a little banana, but not. So it says banana, but I don't.
Banana's kind of hidden, or maybe other flavors are taking
slightly, but not much. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love pineapple, so this one's like, this one is really good.
Pretty easy drinker.
It is. Like I said, it's not too sour where you can't sip it, lots at a time. And if I probably should go let Shane have a drink of this. I don't know. I mean, I got 3 more cans, so she can have a sip another time.
Yeah, right. Next time.
Yeah, that's right.
Speaking of Indiana, Three Floyds has teamed up with a Chicago restaurant group and they're reviving the Indiana Brew Pub. So Three Floyds had closed their spot previously, So they're reopening their brew pub and working with the Chicago restaurant group. Because I guess they're just across the border from Chicago, where they're at in Munster.
Well, I know. Yeah, I was gonna say Munster's pretty. In fact, it's kind of on the way, and I'm not sure what exit we could have taken to get there, but it didn't look too far off the highway.
Mm-hmm.
When we left Sunday, we left too early. When we were passing through, it wasn't really that, maybe 10 o'clock ish or so. So I figured it was probably too early to stop. And then it was kind of sort of the same on the way home. So we just kind of hit it the wrong times, because that was one of the things I told her. I was like, I'd like to stop at Three Floyds either on the way up or on the way back. But we were, I think, really too early for either way.
Yeah.
Because I also thought about 18th Street there.
Oh yeah, 18th Street. Yeah.
But then I was thinking, is it safe for us to go into Gary down to 18th Street to check it out? I'm not really sure.
Come on, where's the car? You parked right here. I thought I parked right here.
Yeah,
Maybe
right.
I
So
did.
it's like, we'll just make sure we get home.
Speaking of cars, I guess here in Baltimore, they're not even just robbing cars anymore. Like they're stealing parts to the car. Like people are going under the
Oh yeah,
cars and stealing the catalytic converter.
that's what I was gonna say.
Not the car, just getting the part.
They've done that around here. Like they've done the catalytic converters off of cars, and then they still. If you go around a lot of like office buildings around here, you'll see like their air conditioning units are like encaged.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, because people were stealing like coils and stuff out of the units or whatever, and knocking out the whole AC. But I guess you can sell the copper as the copper wiring, I think, is what they were stealing out of it, and was able to sell it.
Yeah.
Now this is several years. Several years ago. I'm not sure if they're still doing, trying to do it now or not. But I guess copper at one point went kind of through the roof on price, and they're stealing like the whole, like a job site. When people are building houses and stuff, like they'd leave.
Oh yeah, they leave their stuff.
Leave, like, the whole barrels of copper wiring wound up on there, and they were stealing the whole thing out. Finally, they just quit leaving all that stuff laying around.
Yeah.
It was like, Jesus, man. Can't have anything.
I was like, some place try to go into CVS and it's just like freaking toothpaste. Like, I don't know, what's toothpaste locked up for? Like, there's some value in the hot market I don't know about. Like, you just see some stupid stuff locked up sometimes. Like, why is this locked up? Like deodorant. Like, how hot is the market for deodorant right now? How much are they getting for a degree stick out there?
Oh, we went to when we were in Chicago, we went to Marshall's, this store.
Yeah, Marshall's, yeah.
Which is, yeah. And they had all she likes to go to like Marshall's or what's the other one that's the same along the lines? It's kind of
like Neiman Marcus?
No. It's the same company that owns Marshall's. What the hell's the name of it? We don't have a Marshall. Yeah, we do have a Marshall's here. We got them both here, actually. Why is the other name just drawing? I'm drawing a blank on it. But anyway, she went in there to get, because you can get really nice stuff there for a discounted price. Yeah. They had all. She likes to go there to look for like body products, makeup, or perfumes, or lotions and stuff. And they had all that stuff locked up behind a glass case. And I'm like, how do you get to smell if you want? She's like, you gotta flag somebody down now to see if you want. I was like, that seems like more of a pain in the ass than anything.
Some of these, you look at some of the stuff, especially out of like San Francisco and some of these more high profile, people are going in there to take it. Like businesses are closing. One of the breweries is moving out of San Francisco just because of all activity stuff that's happening out there. And it's just like, it's crazy because that's just going to end up hurting the communities.
It is.
When people can't get to stuff, it is just. But then at the same point, it's like some people are, I guess. You would say some people are struggling or whatever, but I don't know. It's struggling or it's greed or whatever it is. It's just people trying to find an easy way to beat life or something.
TJ Maxx was the other.
Oh yeah, TJ Maxx, yeah.
So they're like the same. They're the one and the same because they're basically laid out the same and have pretty much the same. You couldn't tell if somebody blindfolded you and let you loose in one store or the other. You would never know which one you were in, kind of thing. But she likes to go to TJ Maxx here. And she said it's the same thing there. It's like it's all in glass, all locked up and stuff now. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. It's
Yeah,
like is people still in like makeup and stuff that much? He's like, oh, you'd be surprised. I'm like, I'm not surprised, but I kind of am surprised,
Some of the stuff they're taking, and it's just like, and I guess the store policies are not to stop people. Like I saw one story where an employee tried to stop somebody, ended up getting fired for it or whatever. It's just like because they don't want employees, I guess, being harmed or whatever. But at the same point, it's kind of just like a Wild Wild West type thing. It's somebody spots you 20, 30 people run in and start robbing the place.
Well, one of her brother's friends is like a store manager at a Walgreens or a corporate man. I don't know what he is, but I guess maybe he's just a manager. I'm not sure. And he said they are told if people come in, he's like, I've literally watched people just take stuff off the shelves and put it in their pockets and walk out and never say anything. He said corporate has told them to just let them go, to not do anything.
Were they supposed to call the police or something, or what?
I said, so what do you do? Do you call the police? He's like, not anymore. We don't, because they won't do nothing about it.
That's crazy.
I was like, that makes absolutely zero sense. So
some of the police are overwhelmed on stuff too. So it's kind of like,
that's what he said. He's like, they don't want to really, it's more of a hassle for them, because you probably figure they're only stealing less than a couple $100 worth of stuff. It wasn't worth their time to take care of that. I'm like, so I asked him, I was like, so you're telling me if I walked in there tomorrow and just grabbed a bunch of stuff and just walked out of the store, nothing would happen? He's like, no, literally nothing would happen if you wanted to do that. I'm like, one, I wouldn't do that, but I was like, that is insane.
Yeah. It's a different time than like back in the day when we grew up. Like if someone tried to shoplift, they get pulled over, grab somebody, store manager will stop them, or cops should be. It's just different times now, I guess. And for some of the cops, they don't get paid after they deal with some of the stuff too, I guess. So they're kind of like,
because they're more worried about the outcome, dealing with that person probably than their income, like you said, for what they make or what it's worth,
Yeah.
So I asked him, I was like, so how often does this happen? He's probably like, once a day, maybe once every other day or something. He's like, it's unreal. I was like, how does Walgreens make any money if that's happening?
Because we go and we pay for our stuff, Todd. That's how they still make money. And they mark things up higher to offset the people stealing.
Yeah, we're paying more than we should because of people like that that's getting it for free.
Now, he's like, if a citizen wants to beat that person's ass, I'm okay with it. I'm not going to stop them.
So how do you just sit there and just watch them walk out knowing he's like, I have no choice. Like I can't do anything about it. I'm like, I mean, fair enough, I guess, because I mean, I wouldn't put my life on the line either, because you just never know anymore,
Yeah. And that's why the city needs a Batman.
Every city needs a Batman.
JT says, "Hey, having to be a text. JT, your Rangers knocked out my Baltimore Orioles here, so you already had it where I'm at. So you're already winning in my book." The Astros, though, are just that good that they're going to be in a series again. I mean, Dusty's found his groove there. He's got the players, and he's got a good ball. And that's like, and Todd knows because he's just South Cincinnati. I felt like when I was in Cincinnati, people started complaining about Dusty Rhodes, and you know this, Todd. And it's kind of like, I told people, like, yeah, you're complaining about him, but guess what? You guys are winning like all the time. You're always in playoff contention since he's been your manager. He can't go out there and play ball for you, but he seems to always come up with good mixes that keep you guys in contention. As soon as they get rid of him, they start going right downhill. It's like, I told you, you guys will be upset when you find out when you get rid of him what may happen. So,
and that was one of those when Dusty was here. It's like, yeah, we can get there, but we can't win a damn thing. It's like, let's go to the next one. And we got rid of him. It's like, we didn't win for 15 years. I'm like, okay, I want Dusty back. At least we had a chance when he was there. Like, couple series is away from the big thing, but
yeah. I mean, he kept them in contention to get to the playoffs at least, and then players got to be able to play too. So
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, they can only do so much, and they're out there hitting and fielding for them. So,
yeah. Hello, Liz. Liz said hi.
what's up, Liz?
What's going on? Mm. Talking to you about that bad apple made me hungry again tonight.
I
Like
don't
I don't need
know.
to eat anything else, but I'm
And we need
anti-cheaters.
to have them. We need to go have them go to there and box it up and dry and freeze dry it and send it to us and ship it
Yeah.
our way. I don't think it'd
J-
be nearly as good though, but
JT says I'm anti-cheaters. I went to O's to take out the Stros, so now I want the Rangers to do it. Well, here's the thing. So, and I bring it up now because I just started thinking about Michigan. Like I don't know if you saw or not, Todd, but there's a whole thing around Michigan now where they're being investigated by the NCAA for stealing signs from football teams. They have people going to some of the other games, I guess, that were watching how they're calling the plays on the signs and bringing back the details so when they would play them, they would kind of know what they're calling out of their playbook. My thing is, you're putting signs out there, and I think of baseball. Baseball is that big sign sport, and Todd, because you played baseball and stuff like that.
yeah.
And I'm like, if you're not trying to steal the other sign, are you really being 100%? Because you're trying to get any leg up you can get.
Are you
So,
trying?
yeah. So it's like, are you really stealing? I mean, I feel like that's part of your job to try to figure out what they're doing.
And I'm
So that you have an advantage.
shame on that team if you can't hide your signals better than what you're doing to make
Right.
it that obvious for somebody to steal them. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
what are you
This isn't
That
like a
reminds
19.
one couple of years I coached, assistant coach in high school, and we were playing a team, and I picked that he was a pitching. He went to the same school I did, but he was a lot older than I was. But he played in the minors and stuff, and he was kind of, well known or whatever. And he was the head coach of the opposite team. I picked his signals up. Well, I knew exactly what he was going to throw pitch-wise. He was calling the pitches from the dugout. So he basically just like tug his shirt for a fastball or wipe it or for like a changeup or whatever. So I caught it like after the first inning. So I huddled up the guys and like, do you want to know? Because a lot of the guys didn't want to know what they just
Why
like.
would you not want to know?
That's what I was thinking.
That's like if somebody says, I want to send you free beer. Do you want it? Why would I not want free beer?
And I told him, if you want to know, stay here. I'll tell you exactly what's coming every single pitch. If you don't want to know, then walk away. Because some people just like to react and hit whatever. I think they all stood there. So I think it was like, if I call out your first name, it's a fastball. If I call out your last name, it's a changeup. And the guy that was pitching was only throwing 2 pitches, and that was it.
Yeah.
So the rest of the game until I think we scored like 14 runs.
I was gonna say you guys had to be rocking them at that point.
Oh yeah, it was hitting like crazy, and I was like,
so you're playing baseball or softball right now?
what being so obvious? Like, should you steal signs? Probably not, but don't make them so. If I'm picking them up, then.
Well, it's like to go to casino. Like they don't want you to count cards at the casino. Yeah, it could give you an advantage if you can figure it out. But at the same point, that's my job to try to win, right? So I'm going to use anything I can use to my advantage.
Exactly.
It's not illegal to count cards; it's just frowned upon.
Exactly.
So I'm not breaking any laws by doing it, right? If I do that, same thing with sports. If I can notice the signs, you can do that. And if you're not quick enough to notice that we're on to you, that's your fault for not adjusting them. So it's kind of like, I say, Ray Lewis always said, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, right? Although
exactly, yeah.
There's character issues with Ray that I know some people have. I'm going to still say the line applies.
So yeah, that's kind of true a little bit. Though. I mean, parts of it anyway.
And I go back to the Major League, like the Major League movie, right? When Charlie Sheen's talking to the older pitcher, and he's telling them, you'll be doing all kinds of stuff too when you're at my age. You'll be using Vaseline and doing this and this and this, whatever, right? Yeah, just give you anything of an advantage. So are you going to which is kind of funny now because I noticed this season when the pitchers come off the mound, I don't know if you noticed this watching the baseball games, they do a hand check on them.
Oh, they started that last year.
I didn't notice that until this year. Yeah, so that's kind of interesting.
And last year they were doing it every inning, but I noticed this year I don't know if they do it every single inning or not.
Every time I've seen it, they've done it at the end of the inning.
So I feel like the starter, like the first inning, and then random after that. But if it's a relief pitcher, of course, the relief pitcher may only be in there for like a hitter or two, or maybe a full inning. They do check them every single time. But I feel like the games I've noticed it, and even like we went to a couple of Reds games this year, and I don't remember them checking some of the starters every single time like they did last year. So I don't know if they kind of laxed a little bit on that, or maybe I just didn't notice it. And they
Well, I
kind of,
noticed it this year for the first time, and
yeah.
my thing is, if the umps are going to do the hand check on the pitchers, I think managers should do an eye check on the umps because I've seen a lot of terrible calls of pitches this year watching
Oh,
baseball games.
I think I think the balls and strikes this year calling has been the worst I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, they should be like standing out 40 feet or whatever. Okay, they'll read this chart just like you're at the eye doctor.
Well, that's gonna be the next step. Is it's gonna be computed balls and strikes.
There's people already calling for it. The technology's already there. They showed it like
Well,
on the HBO Inside Real Sports. They showed that.
we went
That
to
was
so AAA is kind of testing it now, so they can so the hitters can challenge balls and strikes now, like in AAA. So they always do like a year worth of trial to see how it works out. So we got the Louisville Bats, here, which is the AAA team for Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And so a friend of ours, his company has season tickets. So we went to 2 or 3 games. In one game we went to, I don't know if they have a limit on how many. I'm not really sure the whole rules on that, but there's probably at least 10 or 12 times where the hitter challenged the ball and strike. And I would say it was a 90% ratio where the hitter was correct and the ump was wrong.
Yeah. They should have.
So it's coming. Like, that's going to be the first step. That's going to go to the major leagues where the hitters can challenge. But then the next step will be like, why don't we just make because you have it now on TV. I mean, you can see where it's a ball or strike.
Oh, you can definitely see that. And they tried it at they tested at games using it, and the computer was right on with balls and strikes. I mean, you can still keep the ump there.
No, I think you would
plays at the plate and stuff like that and everything.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I think you have to have umps there for that reason, but then just have a chip in his ear and let somebody in the booth be like, okay, it's a strike, and then the ump can call it a strike or call it a ball. And then he can call the outs at the plate or, whatever, foul, fair, whatever.
But I know some, like when they did the story, like some traditionals, like, well, I like the human error part of the game. So you like when there's errors made? Like, to me, it sounds funny when someone says that. I know what they're getting at, like there's like that human error part, but I'm like, this is why we have like replay in football, we have replay in basketball, you have replay and other stuff taking place now because you want to try to get it right where you can get it right. So I don't know. I just feel like the technology is there. We should bring it in. And shout out to Dave also.
I agree on both of that.
Yeah.
I'm actually both sides of it, but when you're on the opposite end and it's a terrible call, you're going to be like, they call a strike and it was 4 feet out of the zone. Like, okay, we needed an automated system or vice versa.
I mean, when the announcers are calling the game and they're just like, are you kidding me? Like, they can't even call the game right because the umps are so bad. They're just like,
exactly. And I've seen that so many times. It's like, it's unreal. I've seen TikToks where it's like 22 balls and strikes called in the game that was completely wrong and there were strikeouts or whatever.
Yeah.
Or walks. And I was like, this is bad. Like, something has to be done.
Shout out to Dave. Beer in Front. If you haven't checked out Dave, make sure to check him out. I'm a cheater. I'm on steroids for my back. Hopefully, I know you're going through the stuff there with the back. So hopefully things are panning out a little bit and they're getting you a good diagnosis, my friend. Great to have you on. I don't know if you're laying down or whatever, but make sure you keep that back easy. That's one of those injuries like you don't want to have, I think, with the back. I think the back and the knees are the two that probably give me the most concern. If I had to have an injury, like I would not want to have an injury to those.
Oh, heck no. Especially your back.
Yeah. But
I'll be right back.
Yeah, no problem. But great that you're able to join us for a bit here as well. And y'all haven't checked out Dave's podcast, make sure to check him out. Dave, I'm sitting here rocking my friend Mickey's Black and Brew Chicago shirt. I need to get you hooked up with her because she's right there in Chicago and do a show with her about the group and the good stuff they're doing. So I got to remember to get you her information. I think she'd be a great guest for you on the podcast. JT says hello to Dave as well. Hey, JT. Now drinking Progress by Revolution, a Czech dark lager. Very nice. Well, I'm still knocking out the 60-minute double IPA at this moment. And, it's still just as I remember. It's just still that nice classic kind of IPA style. They didn't mess with it too much. And it's kind of like going to the Sierra Nevada. You just know what you're going to get. You know what to expect. still delivers that same great taste with it. That's solid overall. So definitely enjoying it. And make sure if you guys are drinking stuff that are watching, let us know what else you're drinking. JT's been sharing his stuff, which is always great. But we like to know what you're doing. And then, Dave, I don't think you were here there, but next week I will have Left Hand head brewer on the show next Wednesday night. We'll be doing a live stream. That'll actually be at 8 Eastern because it'll be 6 Mountain Time. So we'll be actually talking about Left Hand Brewing and all the beers they're actually doing. And be some great knowledge, I'm sure, dropped as well. And anybody that brews beers, it's a great chance to actually talk to a head brewer to maybe pick up some tips about brewing. So if you have questions, you'll be able to ask that in the feed as well. I'll rock that shirt. Talk to the Illinois Craft Guild today about that. Oh, very nice. Yeah, it's Mickey Bryant with Black and Brew Chicago. So I'll get you some information on her. I know she'd be happy to come on. I need to get her back on here to do some stuff too. But she's got the Black and Brew Chicago. She's also got, I want to say it's Black and Brew, maybe DC or Virginia, and then another spot. So they've been kind of growing it out in different parts of the country, but it's all the diversity and all that stuff they're doing, which is great. So I was like, everybody always sees my stuff. Let me rock somebody else's stuff here. So I grabbed Mickey's shirt before I jumped on here tonight. So what did you grab, Todd?
Well, I'm not drinking it yet, but I just grabbed it while it was up. So
good move.
Unless you want me to go ahead and show you, but I'll show you when I get ready.
Oh, okay. All right, we can show when you get to it. That's fine. Let's see here. Also on the beer news front, so Genesee, they announced the new fan chosen beer is the Citrus Pils. So that one is about to come out. And this is, if you're not familiar with Genesee did, they put a vote of 4 beers out to people to vote on. Citrus Pils ended up being a winner. So they'll have a Citrus Pilsner that will be made available to you if you actually get Genesee beers. I find some pleasure in drinking Genesee. I feel like Genesee kind of gets overlooked because people don't, is it a macro? Is it a crap? It's kind of one of those things that are just out there and people just see it. And when you see it, it's like, oh, a 12-pack for $10.99 or whatever. So you think it's got to be a macro, right? But they actually, in their small batch type stuff, they actually have decent beers, I think, between that and the Bach and some of the other stuff they do. Well worth the pickup. And $10.99 for a 12-pack is not a bad price.
I like picking it. I don't know that we can get it anymore. The only place I was able to get Genesee, like the cream ale, was in Louisville down the street from work. But the last few times I've went into Total Wine, we haven't had it, or I haven't seen it. So I don't know if we actually get it here anymore or not.
Yeah, I'm wondering if distribution changed or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering too. And I always liked it because, one, it was a good, easy drinker just to keep, just to have and give out to anybody or just to have.
Oh, yeah.
And it was cheap. I mean, it was cheap for the.
Yeah.
I was wanting to say it was like a 12-pack for $9.99 or something. I don't know. It was something like $1 a can or
whatever. You're at, it probably is $9.99. I mean, because it's $10.99 here, and I think when I was in Kentucky, it was around $9.99 or something like that, or even sometimes it'd be $8.99 for a 12-pack at some of the spots. So.
Yeah, so I'm thinking it was like $9.99 for a 12-pack, and I'm like, and Shannon liked them, and I was like, yeah, this is,
Well, I'd rather go in there with than a 12-pack of Bud myself.
Oh yeah.
But speaking of Bud, we haven't talked about Anheuser-Busch in a while. So again, they're back out in the news. So essentially, Anheuser-Busch is being said they're trying to pay out companies with a crazy amount of money to keep their beer on store shelves. Right now, they pretty much paid out $150 million to stores as an incentive to keep them on the shelf. Because stores are starting to pull them off the shelf because they're not selling. Still going over the whole Bud Light type thing, and so they're giving them money to keep them on the shelves through different incentives. If you do this, and we'll boost you this here, blah blah blah. It's kind of crazy. At what point do they just say, okay, we're done with it? We can't keep chasing this thing. So interesting to keep an eye on. Like I said, we haven't talked about Anheuser-Busch in a while and the whole Bud Light type thing, but we talked about before where they were giving a $15 coupon to people just to buy the beer. You got a 12-pack for $16. It costs you $1 because you got 15 back. So now they're going back to try to get distributors actually and store owners to keep them on the shelf. Just throwing money at them to keep them out there. So Um, and where Todd's at, actually tomorrow, second annual Louisville Beer Week begins with the Louisville Beer Fest. Are you aware of that? Did you know that was happening?
I've heard some chirps about it, but I don't know if I'm not really sure what it actually is going on around.
Yeah,
I
so they
know.
got.
I know tomorrow the German American Club, which we've talked about before, because
Mhm.
my cousin asked me the other day, he's like, "You want to go there Friday night, tomorrow night?" And they're having some sort of beer fest or something. I was like, "Well, you mean like an Oktoberfest?" Which we went to a month ago for their Oktoberfest, which is amazing. And he's like, no. He's like, they have set up like 15 or 20 different craft breweries will set up, and you pay $10 to get in, and then you pay by the pour or by the drink or whatever. I'm like, I don't know, maybe we'll
So
see. So I'm
that
thinking
might
I
be
might
it.
be tied
Yeah,
in for that part of it.
yeah. So that might be the Louisville Beer Fest that kicks off, but all next week it'll be Louisville Beer Week. So
Well, that's
enjoy,
what,
Todd, because that's right there across for
yeah.
you. And
I'll have to look into that and see what's going on for it then.
yeah,
I really honestly haven't seen a lot advertised for it.
yeah. Yeah, I just happened to come across it earlier. I didn't have a lot of time to do beer news stuff for this week. Week really crept up on me, but I got a couple things. I said, "Oh, that's pretty interesting." I said, "Todd might enjoy that. Him and Shannon get out, and kind of see some different stuff there."
I remember that. I remember that going on last year, and then different spots would have specials or different things going on for it. But it didn't seem like it was any like big events or anything that was happening for it.
Yeah. Well, they're new at it, so they're probably trying to build on
Yeah,
top of what they did last
yeah.
year.
Kind of like we have like the restaurants will have like a Louisville hamburger week or something, and all the
Yeah.
restaurants, or not all the restaurants, but certain restaurants will have like hamburger specials or certain specialty hamburgers or something for the week or whatever.
Yeah, Cincinnati had they said like the Cincinnati Burger Week and stuff. I don't know if they still do that or not, but you get some pretty good stuff there. And like the beer week, places with that beer stuff, they would pair up with burgers and stuff too, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, different cities do different things to try to mix it up. But yeah, so if you're around town next week, there you go, Louisville Beer Fest.
So how far of a drive would that be for you guys to Cincinnati?
What do you mean to from here to Cincinnati?
Yeah.
From us to Cincinnati it is like 8 hours, eight and a half
So
hours or something like that.
it's
Yeah, like a
pretty
day
good.
drive.
Then. Okay. I
Yeah,
wasn't sure.
yeah, yeah. It's not too bad. When we drove up here, I think we all did. We did it all in one day, pretty much. So yeah, I'm trying to think
Uh,
because we actually had to stay in a hotel for a couple days there because we sold our house before we could actually move into the apartment here. So
no, I was just thinking, I was like, it'd be cool to like meet up somewhere at a beer fest for a weekend or something. And
yeah,
Cincinnati was the first one came out, which I knew it's a lot closer for us than it was for you, but I didn't know
yeah.
exactly. That'd be a long way to go for a weekend.
Oh, so yeah, I still want to do something in Asheville at some point. So
Yeah, we're talking about. So her brother, or my brother, or her brother, my brother-in-law, he was like, "You guys want to go to Asheville maybe next year and like spend 2 or 3 days and go to the breweries and stuff?" And we're like, "Yeah." So we're looking at maybe doing that sometime, maybe either in the spring or in the fall.
I don't know. Let me know.
So we might do that. And I'll definitely let you know if we do that. Because that's how far is that from you?
Asheville, I think from here is like five or something, 5 or 6
Okay.
maybe. It's not. I
So
mean, it's
so
going
it'd
down
be
and
about
across because of the mountains. Yeah, be about
yeah,
yeah,
it'd be about the same for us. I think it's about let's see. Yeah, it's probably 5.5 hours for us also.
yeah, yeah. It's funny after coming here now, like as we go into the fall and stuff. I feel like I felt some of it last year. I feel like this year, like I took Gatlinburg for granted because it's like I kind of like getting away to Gatlinburg around the fall time, getting a cabin and stuff, hot tub, just chilling and relaxing, and nothing. I mean, I could go over to West Virginia, I guess here, but it's just like Gatlinburg was just a whole different type
Yeah,
vibe being there in the mountains and stuff. So
especially if you can catch it right in the when the leaves are changing or
yeah, we
whatever.
usually go like
Nice,
around this month with the colors
yeah,
and stuff like
you get
that.
nice fall colors or whatever.
Yeah,
We went
yeah,
to Bryson City, North Carolina. Uh, when was that? Maybe right before COVID hit. So it might have been 2019, maybe. I can't remember exact year. I think it was 2019. So it wasn't maybe. It was just like 45 minutes before you get to Asheville.
Yeah.
So we got there. That week was like the prime week of all the leaf changing colors and everything, and it was amazing. Like it was so like the colors of the leaves and stuff. It was beautiful. Like it was so vivid looking.
Yeah, it's a nice scenery down there and the stuff you can do, and just to be able to chill there too and stuff. Which I always had that in the back of my mind, like what happens if a bear actually shows up. I never had a bear show up, but obviously you have to think about that when you're down in Gatlinburg and stuff like that and stuff.
I know.
Now you see videos like when bears are unlocking doors and stuff like that. Now, like, wait a second, never thought about that before.
I'd be like, I don't know if a bear shits in the woods if you don't see him, but I know what I'm doing right now. What I see.
The bear shit in the woods. Forget the bear. Think about me.
Exactly.
I know what I do in the woods if I see a bear. Yeah. The other thing with news, I mean, it's just nice sustainability type thing with Lawson Planet Liquids has now brewed 100% solar power beer. So I feel like Lawson's that's like a brewery that's definitely tied into trying to do better stuff with the climate. So it's kind of cool. They did a solar power beer. And you have other breweries that are kind of messing around. That Mad Tree was Cincinnati. He kind of does some stuff like that as well. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I didn't get a chance to do too much of the beer news. But like I said, the week caught up with me kind of crazy. Trez is in the house. Cheers, my friend.
Trez?
What's going on, homie? What's good? I know you're probably at work right now. What up, JT? Cheers. Hey, Trez. Blake's in the house. Cheers. Net is terrible tonight. You get some storms out there, Blake? What's going on, homie? Blake is like he's getting swole. I don't know if you've seen the pictures, but Blake has been working out.
I know.
Bulking up. I'm like, shoot, I might need him for a bodyguard pretty soon. Yeah. Dude is out there getting it done. Doing a great job, Blake.
Keep it up, man.
I'm going to hire Blake myself if I ever make it big as a YouTuber. Blake be my bodyguard.
Just standing around going.
Just standing around like that.
Go to the back. Go to the back. Not one album shift, you don't.
Yeah, they said Asheville's awesome too. Tons of stuff. Yeah, everything I've seen about Asheville is actually pretty cool. I see you, Blake. Cheers. GT, cheers. Cheers, Trez. Said Asheville, great time. All I can say is olden memories. Phew. Yeah. Yeah, it'd be a good time to get down to Asheville. And I'm going to crack open my next beer here because I had a 60-minute, but that was 60-minute. So we're going to step it up to the 90-minute because I got time.
Nothing but time.
The 90-minute, also in a 19.2 ounce can as well. That's the size nowadays. I'm telling you, more and more breweries are jumping to that 19.2.
Like I said, it's the kids.
So this was $2.99, and this was $2.99. You would think the 90 would have cost more. The 90 is 9% ABV. The 60 is 6% ABV. Not that you got a price by ABV, but I'm like, if I was going to get a buzz on, why would I be messing with this?
You're right, right.
They're the same price. That's just crazy to me to kind of think. I don't know if they knew how to really do marketing or merchandising, but this should be more than what that one costs in my mind. That's just me. But I'm not going to tell you how to do your job. I'm going to go ahead and pick it up at the price it is.
One with
and if you're wondering, I do not have a 120 with me tonight. So, although I do have some worldwide stouts in there.
Well, I thought that's what you're going to bring up. Is like I did a 60, so why not double it and go to the 120?
Yeah, right.
Do they have the 120s in the 19-ounce cans? Do you know? Or
no, they won't do those. I don't think. No,
I was going to say I didn't think so. But I was like, maybe.
Yeah,
I didn't think they had them out more than just the 12-ounce bottles, but.
No, they crazy, but they ain't that crazy.
or are those in cans now? I can't remember.
Not in cans, just bottles that I've seen. 4-packs. Yeah.
I've only seen them in bottles too, but
put the 120 in a can. You got people like Will Ferrell and Old School going streaking. They can't be out there with 19.2.
Come on to the quad.
Speaking of Will Smith, man, that guy has been under the bus, ran over, backed over. I mean, he's just like Jada's been driving that bus all over Will Smith's ass. Like, I don't even care that much about the whole thing going on, but I'm like, damn it, Will, do something. Do something, Will.
It's funny you say that because I listen to Howard Stern at work, and pretty much he's only on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and then he's off the other 2 days. But he was talking about, guys, I guess Jada was on, what's that talk show?
Well, she did an interview. She did an interview with Hoda, and like pretty much, like, yeah, I got Will's balls in my pocketbook right here. Let me tell you about them, and pretty much just ran them over.
Well, she did like 3 different days. She kept going back or whatever, and Howard was like, who does she think she is to be able to do this? He said the same thing. She's like, she was throwing him, but then he was playing clips, and she was like, oh, well, we like made up, and we were, we're in love, and this is all great and all. And I'm like, that's weird because that's not what it seems like.
Nah. I think Will was definitely probably the rebound from her thing with Tupac from back in the day, but
something.
I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. I feel like Will's like such a nice guy, probably, at least from the idea of it. And Jada just runs all over him pretty much and just kind of just, and it's like, dude, like, and he actually responded on some stuff or whatever, I think just recently, but it's just
I've seen some clips and he was kind of going off a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. Those two are just so whacked out. I'm not really sure.
Jada is, whatever comes to your mind, right? Yeah. And then I'm like, Will, if you were separated for 6 years, why the hell would you go up there and smack Chris for? I mean, Chris is making a joke. You know it's a joke. I'm like, are you trying to win her back and show like something there or whatever? Like, and then she sells him out on that. Like, she was like, I was surprised when Will smacked Chris. I don't know. I don't know why he did something like that either, but like,
yes, yeah.
You gave
that's what Howard Stern
gave him that crazy look.
He was like, if y'all haven't been together for that long, why would you go up stage and say my wife? Like, you ain't been living in the same house for 8 years. Why are now you calling her your wife or whatever? Like, what the hell's going on here? Like, it's like, you are fucked up. He's like, I don't know. He's like, I don't get it. He's like, I don't get it.
Yeah, that whole I don't know what's happening there. I mean, and there's like the open relationship thing, and it's just like, well, if they weren't together, I guess it's not an open relationship. They're just not together. But they had been married and whatever on paper, but it seemed like they were not married in real life now at that point. So I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. It's almost like you want to feel bad maybe for Will because you feel like he's getting played. But I mean, Will's putting up with it. I don't know. I don't pay enough to it in the tabloid type thing. Like, I don't really care. But it's like the whole Taylor Swift thing. Like, why do I got to keep seeing Taylor Swift on stuff? Who cares if she's dating Travis Kelce? Who really cares? Who cares about the Swifties going all crazy? But yeah, it keeps getting thrown in your face and blah, blah, blah. Like, apparently they had some thing at one of the movie theaters and the Swifties started all dancing and singing. People were getting pissed off at it, and they're like, you go into that environment, Swifties are crazy. They're going to be doing some crazy shit. Don't expect to be people sitting in their seat type. And it's just like,
I seen that. I was like, people are standing up singing and like they're at the concert or whatever. I'm like,
yeah.
It's a fucking movie. Sit your ass down and just watch. Like, what are you doing?
I stayed at a hotel where Swifties came through. It ain't a pretty sight. It just ain't a pretty sight. Like, it's just like kind of like, I don't even know if they have anywhere else to live. Like, I've seen some people pull up in their cars, like all their stuff was in their car. The Taylor Swift stuff written on the window. Like, I think you just ran away from home with all your stuff and you just followed Taylor Swift across the country. Like,
trying to follow her wherever she goes.
Yeah. Like, what is your job? Do you have a job? Like, with all that stuff in the car, do you have like just I'm a Taylor Swift roadie or groupie or whatever? But yeah. Swifties are their own breed for sure. But I mean, I even know like people that are like Beyonce's, they don't get that crazy, like the Bee's Nest or whatever, Bae's Nest, whatever they call it. I've never seen that crazy like Swifties.
No.
And I saw somebody say Taylor Swift is like the greatest pop star ever. I'm like, is she now? Did she pass? Did she pass Mike? Did she pass? I don't know. I don't really do a lot of Taylor Swift. I've heard her music. Her music doesn't really bother me. But I'm like, is she past the king of pop's level? Is she over Michael Jackson now?
I mean, I guess it depends on how you figure out the greatness of. Like, are you talking about like are they talking like dollar sales and concerts and stuff? Then obviously yes, because like they know, I mean, she just went over $1 billion this last summer or whatever. I'm like, but it's also a different time era because Michael, I mean, money wasn't that, in the 80s.
Well, you and yeah, I mean, it's just like
it's a different time. It's a different era.
I mean, it's kind of like, do they know her in all the other countries like that? I mean, Michael, every country pretty much knew who Michael Jackson was. I don't know if everybody knows who Taylor Swift is around the world. Maybe I don't know. I mean, well,
she's going to start like a foreign tour now, so.
I mean, I know Taylor Swift's doing her credit card commercial. Mike had his Pepsi commercials back in the day, so I don't know. Maybe she is. Maybe she is bigger than them.
All I know is Shannon said, Travis better not fuck her over. His career's done. She's like, the Swifties will eat him up and spit him out, and he'll have to retire. You'll never see him again. It's probably true. It's probably true.
Yeah, Travis jersey sales are up because of the Swifties buying shit, I'm sure.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
But it's just like, yeah. But his ex-girlfriend came out about some shit about him, I guess, because he had done one of those shows, like The Bachelor or something, a few years ago. And I guess chick that won, he cheated on her. She came out doing an interview about how he'll cheat on Taylor at some point, too, and all kinds of stuff. So it's just like, drama sells, I guess, in America still. So, I mean, I know we don't got the Jerry Springer show anymore, but drama's still selling out there.
Jerry
was the king of it.
Rinse my glass out. Yeah, I don't know. I was like, guess he's doing all the right things in the public eye, I guess.
Yeah. Well, now he knows he can't mess up, I guess. I don't know.
That's what I was going to say. Is like, is he doing it because he's just that genuine, or is he doing it because he knows he can get blasted by all the Swifties if he doesn't treat her the right way? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
he's screwed either way now. It's like he's done screwed.
Trey said it's better to keep doing what you're doing. Will keep the lips closed. But yeah, I mean,
no doubt.
You take the higher. Well, why is Will got to take the higher ground? I mean, I know to get the point there, but it's kind of like you can't keep getting run over at some point either. At some point, you got to respond somehow. We all had like Swifties for a good beer though. I wouldn't go to a Swiftie level though.
All right, Shane just come out, so you can't say nothing bad about her now.
She's Is Shannon a Swiftie? Is she a Swiftie?
She'll Jada Pink at your ass if you do. So
I don't even know what makes Taylor Swift that popular myself. I mean,
she just walked outside now, so
not
sure. And she walked through the kitchen out on the back deck, so I'm not really sure what she's doing.
Trev said Travis is in a dangerous spot. Got to be careful, Travis. Actually, you screwed up your career if he said say so. Had to say so there, yeah. They got to worry about the fan thing. It's like playing NBA 2K. You got to go to your social media and see what people are saying about you. Get your
exactly.
Yeah. Oh, social media. Yeah, it is. Social media is kind of crazy there. But yeah, so it's kind of funny seeing that kind of stuff out there, and I don't know. It's I guess those are the kind of things. I think some people get pulled into that thing because it makes them feel better about their own lives when they're not being pulled into that kind of stuff. So like there's something with that whole tabloid type thing happening.
I'm not really sure what people just get drawn to that for whatever reason. I don't understand it either, but
yeah, I mean, I know people used to watch Jerry Springer and stuff like that because it made them feel better about themselves. Like when they do like the little poll survey, people are like, it makes them feel better about themselves seeing people have worse stuff happen. So, but what's that say about society if you're going to put a show on about people having bad stuff? It makes you feel good, like, you know. It's the world we live in.
Here's my next one. I'm going to open up.
What you got there?
It's called
Woven Water.
Woven Water, and it's out of Tampa, Florida. This I didn't pick this one up in Chicago. I actually got this one here.
Oh, okay.
Not last week's show, but 2 weeks ago. And then we were gone last week, so I didn't get a chance to drink any of those either. This is called Refractions. It's a double IPA.
Double IPA.
It says double blurry IPA, whatever that means. But
might have you seeing double. What's the ABV on it?
Well, that's what I was going to look and see. If this one even says it.
Give you that double vision. Double vision. Ooh, that song.
I mean, you would think that it says that it would be high, and you would think it'd be on the can, which I think all of them should be on the can, but I don't see it on the can. Untapped has it at 8.7.
8.7? Oh, that's double. I mean, I wouldn't say it's going to have you seeing double anything at that level.
But the can art's kind of cool. I don't know if you can pick that up on the screen or not, but you can see kind of like how it reflects off the light.
Let me see, put it up there. I got like a little rainbow reflection there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it kind of reflects off the light, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
Never had anything from them, so I saw it and I was like, okay. We do get some weird things every now and again. I mean, it gets a 4.12 on Untapped, so.
So they got some pretty good reviews on it.
Yeah.
Let's see what you think of it, though.
Yes.
Screw the people. It's about your thoughts.
My opinion is the only one that really matters, right? Who cares what the other 1,000 say on Untapped?
Yeah. And they say opinions are like assholes, and you know the rest. It's got that pineapple yellow.
Yep. As Joe would say, you see it kind of has that little murky kind of cloudiness to it.
Murky cloudiness.
Definitely get a big like piney nose to it for sure. Let's see what the
more pine, and that is fine.
Let's see. Straw or deep golden color. I agree with that.
Yeah, it's really deep.
Style has a varying degree of cloudiness. I agree with that. Starch, yeast, hop, protein, and other compounds contributes to a wide range of hazy appearance within this style. That might just be. Was that? Oh, it's just about the style. Well, I mean, I guess it holds true to that, though. I thought that was going to give more description of the actual beer, but may include a small amount of oat, wheat, and other adjuncts to promote haziness. Descriptors such as juicy are often used to describe the taste. Okay. I was saying I smell more of the hoppiness out of it than anything. Kind of like that grassy, weedish kind of smell, that you get from the hop. More so than any like citrus flavors of anything. I'm trying to see if it says on the can. It's kind of weird. It makes it hard to read because it kind of illuminates on the writing there too. You kind of get the color, so it makes it kind of hard to see what it's actually saying. I don't know if you could pick that up or not.
Let's see here.
Kind of like the description.
Oh yeah, it does illuminate.
Yeah, so it's kind of makes it hard to even see what it's actually trying to say.
Yeah, some of these guys outthink themselves too much.
Yeah, I agree with that. So yeah, I'm not even trying to read it because I can't.
As a person that's sold for a long time,
where it doesn't
they're
turn
full
color,
sales.
and you can't really even see what it says. But anyway, let's see what the take. I get more like I said, I get more of the hoppiness, the kind of, lack of a better term, the weed kind of smell out of it.
The resin.
Yeah.
The resin. The dank. The sticky, icky.
Like the man's locker, no.
As they say,
I mean, it's got a little bit of juiciness there, kind of maybe on the back end of it. But that's not what I'm picking up at the front for sure. Interesting. You get a little bit up front, but then it kind of mellows out and you get more of the juicy kind of flavors to it. which is weird because I don't get that at all in the nose, but in the taste, it kind of tames and mellows out a little bit. Up front, you kind of get the burst of like the pungent kind of hoppiness to it, and then it kind of back end of it kind of mellows out and pick it up a little bit of like a grapefruit kind of notes to it. Pretty good, actually. It's a lot more mellow than I was expecting from the nose of it for sure.
Nice mouthfeel and everything with it.
Yeah, it kind of has a little bit of a not over the top, not creaminess of you would think like lactose injected or anything, but it's got a little bit of a creaminess to it. Yeah, it's smooth. Like there's not really any burn or anything to it. Not sure I would even know that it was near 9% ABV. I mean, it's not. Yeah, it's pretty good. Nice. I like that one. It's pretty good. Now, definitely, if somebody's not too much in the hop forward, I wouldn't say hop forward stuff, but even on the fence of like, yeah, like Shannon wouldn't like this at all.
Yeah.
That's terrible. Why would you drink that? Just because you do get the hop astringent.
Why would you drink that? Yeah.
Yeah. And her brother's the same way. He's the same way. Like, no, it's too hoppy. But for us, like, I don't think it's over the top but it definitely lets you know it's there. It does definitely let you know it's there.
Yeah.
That's an IPA and it's sort of hop forward more so than a lot of the styles you get now, you know. I like it though.
Nice.
I definitely would recommend picking it up if you see it.
And who's that from again?
Woven Water out of
Woven
Tampa.
Water.
Yeah, they're out of Tampa, Florida.
And you got that in Indiana.
I did, yeah. It's kind of weird. Like I said, every now and again we just see weird distribution from different breweries. It's kind of odd sometimes. I may never see this again. I don't know. I got another one from them also. They had two different ones. I was like, I'm going to get a can of each because this liquor store I go to actually is the only one that I know of in the area that will actually let you buy singles.
Well, hopefully I like to come across that Malavita again at some point. I haven't seen that.
You do. Let me know. I will send you some money and then you can send it to me.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, oh. Because they're out of Spain. And I was like, I know Party Sorts got them, but they got them. And I should have bought them all when I was there. If I know how good it was going to be.
$1.99 a piece.
Yeah. I would have wiped them out if I didn't know it was going to be that good when I got them. But I went back and they were gone. So, yeah.
Because what were those, like 10 or 11%?
They were all 11%, but that rum one was, yeah.
And then that was the one I only got like 2 sips of because the freaking dog knocked the glass out of my hand and spilt it all over the place. I was like, no.
The dog was like, ruh-roh.
I was supposed to guy to bend down and just start sucking it off the carpet, but I was like, no, I'm not doing that. But I wanted to. I was like, I'm never going to get this again. I was like, God. I was so pissed.
Oh, it's one of those moments that probably felt like in slow motion that you saw going down too. Like,
oh, it did.
Yeah, all three were good, but that rum one was definitely the top of the three between that and the bourbon and the other barrel. Yeah. One was just barrel aged, but that was a bourbon. So I don't know what they did with the main one, but yeah.
All I know is what little I got of that one was phenomenal, and the other two were phenomenal also. But the rum one was, the rum one of the couple of drinks that I did get out of it was really good.
Yeah. So here's something I had the other night. It was so good, so tasty. It's a pizza I had for dinner. Oh, this is so good. Look at this pizza.
Ooh.
Yeah. It was very tasty. It was jalapeno, red onion, steak, and ham. Oh, it was so freaking delicious. We got this place called Zella's Pizzeria. They do a really good job on pizzas. It's probably my favorite pizza I've had since being here in Baltimore. But
So
I just want to.
what style do they consider that? Like a
It was
Chicago
a
style
hand.
or
No,
deep
I mean it
dish?
was make your own. Make your
Oh,
own.
okay.
It was hand toss.
Just a
Oh,
hand
and
top.
then but you can choose different sauces. So I had like a red spicy pepper sauce as the sauce to use. Now,
Only reason why I ask is the crust looked thicker than just like even a hand tossed but it didn't look as thick as like a deep dish was why I was wondering.
oh yeah, no, I mean you could easily fold it and stuff, which I did because I'm from the East Coast. You got to fold that pizza, son. You fold it up, you fold it and enjoy it. But yeah, so it was like that was so tasty, and then I got a couple slices for lunch tomorrow left. But it was just like, yeah. So you always want to find a good pizza spot if you can. I think I found the best one, at least so
So
far here in Baltimore.
So here I did take a picture of this. This is the pizza we got on Wednesday night from Lou Malnati's when we were in Chicago.
Okay, all right. Now was
And it
that a
was
deep dish?
yeah.
Yeah,
And I think we just got pepperoni, maybe sausage. I think is all we got
yeah.
on it. But to me, that Pequod's was way better, and the crust at Pequod's was I
But
think
that's
far.
not. Is that Pequods or not Pequods?
No, this was Lou Malnati's.
Okay, that was Lou. Okay.
Yeah. Which everybody said, go to Lou's. But I kind of feel like after having the Pequods, like I feel like Lou's is like a tourist, like because it's known. So go to Lou's, and I mean it was good, but it was different. It was just different. I don't know. Now I'm kind of curious to see like if I had that first and then had Pequods, if my opinion would be different. You know what I
If it
mean?
would have
Like,
flipped over. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm kind of wondering.
Emerson said, "Give that pizza a Dave Portnoy score 1 to 10. No rookie scores." Talk about my pizza, Todd's pizza. My pizza, I give Zella's a 9.5 on that. Now my main go-to at Zella's when I'm really feeling it is the steak, pineapple, and ham, and that is actually really good. Put it together, that sweet and that saltiness and that savory coming together. But that's becoming a second favorite now, having that red onion on there and having the jalapeno in the steak and the ham. So
See, I could do the jalapeno, but I'm not on the onions. I'd have to do without the onions.
well, you do the jalapeno with the pineapple too and the steak, and that's actually like a cheesesteak thing, and it's really good.
Yeah, I could do that. Yeah.
Not a cheesesteak thing because you don't do pineapple and cheesesteak, but it's kind of like an Hawaiian feel to it, almost like a spicy type dish.
I like onions if they're cooked. When they're like I like onion rings, but I don't like them when they're just kind of chopped up late on there where they're not really cooked. It's kind of in a raw.
Well, you can get them. You can get them with grilled onions on there, I think, or
Yeah.
sautéed onions.
So that might be a little different. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd still be kind of about that. I'm not sure.
I'm an onion fiend though. I can do raw onions, fried onions, sautéed onions. See, I'm just like, bring me all the onions. I'm like Bill Rafferty, onions. Cheers, Angie. Happy Thursday, Angie, my friend. And but Zealous is my spot now for the Baltimore pizza. So
now for me, the one I just showed you, I would probably give that about a 8.
8.
And the Pequods, which I wish I would have taken a picture of just as a comparison, which was the one that JT and Liz took us to, I'd give that probably like a 9.5.
Yeah. Now Pequods was that deep dish also that you got there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the crust was like thicker than like the Lou Malnati's, the one I showed you. I mean, I don't know if you could tell in the picture, but it was really thin. It was didn't have much anything to it. And I don't know, but the Pequods, like the cheese was kind of bubbling over and like kind of that crunchy burntness to it a little bit. I was like, oh, it was so good. I was like, oh.
Indeed. Well, I will say now, if we go burgers, Bad Apple.
Yes.
I would give
12 out of 10.
Yeah. I would give it a 9.8. It was so good. The only reason I would give it the full 10 is because I would like the bigger. I would have wanted more. Give me more. Give me a bigger patty. You know, get over it.
and then they would have had to come with a wheelbarrow just to carry them out.
Anybody goes to Chicago, I would tell you right now, you want to go to the Bad Apple to get a burger. You want to get a burger by the Bad Apple, and you can actually have the Bad Apple delivered over to, or you can go pick it up, and you can walk across the street and pick it up and bring it back to Hot Butcher. Have that with one of their double IPAs over at Hot Butcher. Oh my gosh, that would be
that's kind of what brought that up, because we went to Hot Butcher first, and then JT and Liz was like, "Are you guys hungry? We go across the road." It's like, Rod just loved their hamburgers. They said so. I was like, we got to go there. We have to go there. So we did. I was like, oh, this is awesome. So glad we went there. It's like it was so good.
I give you the burgers. I give you the Wawa. You can trust me. I'm going to point you in the right direction on stuff.
I know.
Trent says, all right, what was on that pizza last night? I will make it tomorrow night. I love onions. I ate onions on apple as a kid. There you go. I took it to different times. I'm a big apple fiend. So on the pizza I got jalapeno, because I love spicy, red onions, steak. Because here in Baltimore, getting like steak, like they would use like for cheesesteak type stuff, you can get steak on pizzas here, which is pretty cool. And
that's what I was going to say. What kind of steak was like? So
yeah, like
the
shaved steak there. And then I had ham on there as well. If you can't get the steak, you can do it with just the ham and the pineapple and the jalapeno, and I think it'll still deliver a nice little bang.
So was that your own creation, or was that like on the menu?
No, that was my own. That was my own mix up, because they give you like a list of the different toppings, and I just know spice. My wife Janice, she's like, you start smelling like jalapeno. I love peppers. I'm always jalapeno and stuff. She's like, you're making something spicy again. She can smell. I'm like, I love my spice. Plus, having peppers is good for your system, for those of you that work out, because it turns up the heat in your system, so it helps to burn more energy for you during the course of the day. Just saying, there's a health benefit there having peppers. More vitamin C in a jalapeno than an orange, by the way. Just passing that along. But it works out well having that pizza. So, yeah, I mean, I rarely ever get like pepperoni now, or sausage. I have a meat lovers once in a while, but my thing here is get the steak, or the ham. Those are like my two favorite meats now. Love the onion, love the peppers. Sometimes I'll get yellow pepper on there as well. It just depends, but I love the jalapeno. So, but I've always loved peppers. I've always I just get peppers. I cut them up raw and I put them on stuff just because I love the taste of it.
Yeah, can't go wrong with jalapeno.
Yeah, I feel like you get a nice fresh jalapeno. Start feeling that sweat on the back of your neck coming down. Yeah, you're doing something then, son.
My brother's a pepper fiend too. He grows them, habaneros, ghost peppers. He'll grow them all and dry them out and cut them up to like the flakes you put on your pepper or on your pizza or whatever, like the pepper flake.
It's like, if you're not sweating, are you even eating the pepper right now?
Is it really a pepper if you're not sweating?
If you ain't got that bead working, what are you doing? The Bad Apple used to be routinely listed on the best burgers in Chicago, but since the pandemic, not too much. So it's not even the top 10 burger spots. Really? I don't know what the other 10 spots have, but
that's what I was saying. He was telling us that when we were there, and I'm like, he was like, yeah, it used to be number one. Now I'm not even sure it's in the top 10. I'm like, after eating that, I was like, I want to see what these other like 9 or 10 places are that are better than this. Like, I
have to check those out and do my own test there. Yeah. Well, it's funny. Like, you had the deep dish at those other spots. When I was in Chicago a few years ago, the place, I think I mentioned to you and Shannon, a place downtown called Exchequer Restaurant and Pub. They were voted the best pizza in Chicago through one of the Chicago things. And that was really a pretty good deep dish that they had. So different times, different polls. Who are they polling, right? Because answers and stuff, It's like people poll like, I've never been polled for anything. Like, who are these other people getting polled for stuff?
On that one again.
Yeah. You can trust me though. I got followers on Yelp, son.
I think JT said that the Bad Apple changed ownership or something, and then after that is kind of when it dropped down. And I could be wrong. JT, correct me if I'm wrong on that. But
Did you talk about my burger I had?
Yeah, that's what.
Wrote it down right. Tomorrow night, baby, pizza and beer. There you go. There you go. Now be careful on the beer you actually choose with it. My recommendation, if you do the pizza, is to get like a Pilsner if you can to actually enjoy it. If you get an IPA can be good, but an IPA is going to intensify the heat of the jalapeno.
I was going to say, it'll make it.
You have to be prepared for it if you do an IPA. But a nice Pilsner, something a little bit easier, some type of lager, you can probably team up with it. You could even do like something like I probably wouldn't say Hefeweizen with that style of pizza just because different feel you get from Hefeweizen. You can do a wheat ale along those lines. But a Pilsner would actually match up real nice with that crisp, clean feel of the Pilsner to go along with it. JT, original owners sold in 2020, and new owners have been less creative. Oh, well, I don't know what all they're creating, but the burgers they got in there on the menu right now were satisfying for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. He said that it was sold and it wasn't as prestigious as it once was or whatever, but I'm like, I would hate to see what it was before then because it was so good.
Yeah,
it's still so good.
I guess they figured like we already got stuff. Why we gotta be more creative about it though? Yeah,
you're right.
Although that one that Shannon had does sound interesting with the peanut butter nana burger because I did see that and I thought about it for a second.
It was banana.
She just walked out.
It's banana, or not banana.
Plantains. Peanut butter,
and some kind of like a pepper jelly.
Oh, a pepper jelly.
Yeah, because I did look at that one. Yeah, because
and cheese and bacon.
Because of the pepper, it had my attention there, and I saw that. I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting there too.
I thought it had jelly on it, but I knew it had something besides just like jelly. Yeah, it was pretty good. I didn't have none of the plantains on it, but I had a taste of it. But it was really good.
See, I'd have been sitting there singing the Rick and Morty song. Peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter. I'd have been happy in heaven singing the Rick and Morty song, eating that burger. Peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly time.
All I know is
cheers, Sam.
That is kind of close to me because I go there all the time to get a burger.
Yeah, I would. I mean, I'm not small now, but I'd be fatter.
Like I said, we just walked around and she was like, how's everybody here that weigh like 400, 500 pounds?
Oh, get that. And yeah, it'd be some Garrett's popcorn for dessert. Yeah, I'd be done in. Pilsner. Yeah, definitely. I think the Pilsner definitely is a good play for that. I think it'll match up well with that pizza. Pilsner lager is always good for a nice pizza, but damn fat finger, LOL. Yeah, I get that too.
Like, that's all right, Trez. I do the same thing all the time when I text on my phone. I'm like, damn fat fingers.
I just always blame autocorrect, but I know it's a fat finger.
That was one thing we had. We were trying to plan to go to Cincinnati to hook up with Trez and his wife and go out, but might have to try to do that next spring. Yeah. Since now it's starting to get the weather's starting to turn or whatever.
You know what you guys should try to do? You should try to plan it for like the beer fest. Well, actually, well, they're about to have the one beer fest, I think, coming up, but it's already too late probably for that. I think it's like in the fall here. I think they might have one. They may have had it already on the square or whatever, but in spring or end of winter, February, like we did.
I was gonna say,
they'll have they'll have that one at the Duke Energy Center.
Yeah.
But they usually have one in the square like around this time as well. I think that's this weekend or something. Because I remember the Norway Gnome was talking about that upcoming. So that was about to happen. But that one at Duke Energy Center is always worth going to, just because.
But anyway, Trez, we haven't forgot. We just how time just slips away, and just to try to make time to make it happen. But we'll try to do that next year for sure.
Yeah. Well, there's a point now that she wants to actually go back and visit Cincinnati at some point. She had one of her friends that used to work with her came into town a few weeks ago. They went out and all kind of stuff. And she's like, yeah, I want to go to Cincinnati again if you go back or whatever. So, maybe we can get back up there for something.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So come back.
Actually, coming back for the beer fest would be kind of cool. We get a hotel downtown or something.
Well, that's kind of what I was asking. Like, how far is that? Cincinnati from you guys? But I didn't realize it was that far away. But I was like, yeah, it's kind of far for a beer fest. But if we're coming here just because y'all guys,
we would just.
Like, hey,
I wouldn't mind driving, but she probably want to fly, so we probably just fly up and then Uber to the hotel or something, and then So you probably wouldn't care about as much going to the beer fest just to be back in Cincinnati and stuff. So
You're right. No, yeah, that'd be something to keep in mind for sure. Because I mean, hell, it's only an hour and a half for us to drive to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
So we'll come up and stay the night or whatever, and do the beer fest, and get Trez to come out and hook up with him and hang out and drink a beer with him or whatever. And
yeah, I definitely missed the beer scene at Cincinnati or some stuff and catching up with everybody on back. Yeah, when I was back in this last trip, it was pretty much in and out for work, so I didn't really get a chance to do too much. But
and it's probably something we're gonna have to try. Not well, I say we, but me and her. Well, I mean, you're more welcome too. But I know you're in Baltimore, but go to Cincinnati, the beer scene like we did that one. That day.
That was a blast. We did that.
Yeah, that was fun.
Says I know, Todd, we would get together. Remember, my bro screwed up the Yankees for his game 11.
Yeah. I was texting Trez like, "Oh, we're good. We're a little late because we're stuck in traffic." And then a little bit later, he was like, "I'm not gonna be able to meet now because he had to do the cookout. Or had to
or fish. He's at fish fry. He's actually
yeah,
it was a fish fry. Yeah.
Yeah. And the bad thing was where we were going to meet him was where we parked at underneath the stadium. We come up the steps and there it was. I forget what what that bar is there on the scene right next to the right in the corner, right next to the stadium.
Is it next to the stadium? Oh, you came up to I know what you're talking about. It's
it like starts the little strip when you walk down.
It's right across the
football stadium.
Holy Grail. Holy Grail. It was probably the Holy Grail.
Yes, the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
And we walked up, and I was like, "Oh, that's where we're going to meet Trez at." And of course, he couldn't meet us then, but I was like, "Dang."
Yeah, Trez said that. Yeah, that was like that's like a popular bar right there and stuff. So.
Oh, but we did get like 3 or 4 beers outside of there because we drank. Me and my brother, we drank, I don't know, 4 or 5 beers before we went to the stadium, just because the price like tripled by the time you go inside.
Oh, by the time you go to the stadium, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you got Yard House there too, which is like 150 beers on tap.
Yeah, yeah.
Right next to you got Moorline House, so that's right there as well. So
we went to the restroom there, but it was so freaking packed when we went in. It was like an hour and a half wait to get a table or something.
In Moorline?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, and my mom and my brother's daughter went too, and we were like, we just want to go to the restroom. We're like, well, let's just jump in here real quick. And it was so freaking packed. And me and my brother went to the restroom and walked right back out. I was like, there's no way we're getting in this place.
Yeah. Yeah, they got the I can't remember the name of it now, Trez would know, but they have the open cup thing down there where you can actually walk in that little area. Just like if you were on Front Street in Tennessee and Nashville, where you can go from bar to bar hop and stuff, which is pretty cool.
They do that in you can do that in Indianapolis also.
Yeah, New Orleans kind of the same way. So yeah.
Must be like the big cities that have big sport, or not big cities, but cities that have like big sports teams in them or something. They allow that maybe.
Yeah. I'm saying $5 on the out, 10 on the in, right? Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Well, here, even in Baltimore, my nephew was in. We took him to the Orioles game. Yeah, you get in there and you get 2 beers, and it's like $20-something or whatever. So.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
And it's like for like the 2, basically like 2 19-ounce cans. So it's definitely the markup of the stadium. But you got to respect that when you go. It's like going to the movies. It's like, I know this popcorn don't cost this damn much to really make it. You guys are definitely, jacking me on it.
Like, I can see at the games because you got to pay those $1 million contracts somehow.
Yeah. At the movies, you can charge me $6 for a bag of Reese's, and I get a Walgreens for $2.50. Are you kidding me?
Like, $1.03 for $1, and $1.25.
Which is why I said, like, at least in Newport, where we had in Kentucky, the only thing that made sense was the beer. You can get like a 25-ounce beer, and it was like $9. You're like, oh, that's not bad. That's like the best deal you get at the movie theater. Like, oh, I can drink these. That's no problem at all.
Now I would say we did drink, I don't know. I want to say it was like
capture audience for sure.
$4 beers when we were drinking, but I think it was Miller Lite or Bud Light or whatever. It wasn't like craft beer or anything, but it's like, okay, that's fine. Maybe $5, I don't know. But when we go inside, it was like $12 for a 16 ouncer or something. It was like,
yeah. This is why people tailgate and stuff, you know.
Yeah,
But it's kind of funny, like people tailgate for football, but why don't they tailgate for baseball
or any sport.
or basketball or some of the other sports where they go in the arena? It's just really like football. People kind of focus on that. They kind of do that. I never understood why that really was the case. Like
only thing I can figure is because it's once a week.
on the weekend.
And there's only 16 games, and there's only 8 home games, literally.
But if you're going to a baseball game, most of your games start around 7:10, 7:15. You're in happy hour time. Why not grab beers, tailgate before you go into the thing? I mean,
yeah. I guess I don't. That's the only thing I figure is because
you wouldn't do a full tailgate. See, with football, you do a full tailgate, right? Because you're there 6, 7 in the morning because the game's at 1, right? So people are grilling and doing that kind of stuff. You don't have that time. You don't have that time with baseball because you're after work, probably, right? But you have time to throw some beers in the cooler and drink some beers in the lot before you go in.
But I think it's just the number of games because like one game in football means more than one game in baseball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I guess really it doesn't in the grand scheme of things, but at the time it seems like it's more important than that one game. Like, okay, we lost. We can win the next 3, and it's no big deal. But you lose that one game in football, and you'd be like, oh, now we got to win. Now we got
what is like 1/17 of the season, right? Versus baseball. Yeah.
So I'm thinking maybe the build up, and it's just once a week. Maybe it's a bigger.
Maybe.
That's the only thing. That's the only thing I can figure because I always wondered the same thing. I was like, why is it such a thing to like tailgate for football with nothing else?
I wonder if we've been conditioned kind of that way though too, because it's kind of like
probably
you go to a baseball game, you're not going to a baseball game like all the time. And most people aren't. Some people are like, daily thing. If they're like retired or whatever, they're huge in a baseball fan and might, be able to go to those games. And most people are going like once a week or once every couple of weeks.
Oh,
so you feel like you could definitely tailgate or something before you went in. But as far as, again, it'd be a mini tailgate because you're not probably going to do it. Unless it's a Saturday or Sunday game, you're not getting out there. You're not grilling. You're not doing all the cornhole and all that kind of stuff because you're just there for an hour or two before you go in, maybe. So most people just go to a bar and you grab some drinks there. But it's kind of like, why don't you just tailgate, have your own stuff there, and then go in?
Right.
So
that's interesting. Like, I wonder what the actual reasoning is for that. I guess the time. It's football's on the weekend and baseball's during the week, and like you said, got work and.
Yeah. But people go in and start drinking. I've seen people games.
Everybody's going there 2 hours early to cook out and drink or whatever. I mean, I've seen it before, but you don't see it as like a whole, field full of people doing the same thing.
Yeah. And speaking of sporting events, have you seen the videos from the Chargers Cowboys game where people were fighting? They were fighting at the stadium, I guess. Like all these crowds were getting into fights and stuff. Like I guess maybe that's the alcohol. They've had too much alcohol, but the Charger fans were fighting the Cowboy fans and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, it was kind of funny.
I haven't seen that. No.
Yeah. Usually it's like I want to say Trez watched like usually the 49ers or a team where you have fights with Oakland. Like it's usually in California, but they were fighting the Chargers Cowboys stuff. So I'm like, I don't know what they were fighting about. Like, somebody said Dak can't throw, and then somebody said, yeah, he can. They got in a fight about it. Like, man, that guy, how is Dak Prescott still a quarterback in the NFL? Seems like every time I see stuff on that guy, it's like you must have something on Jerry. I don't know.
That's what I was going to say. It's like he's got pictures or something. I'm not sure what it is, but he definitely has something on Jerry.
Oh man.
Jared's one of the guys who's like, nope, you're good. I'll just gotta come through. You're fine.
It's like, what was that with back in the day, Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd when they did Trading Places? It's like, yeah, I see this guy on this payroll, Clarence Beak, and it's like, that's Dak Prescott. Like, what does he do? Like, we'll take care of that. Don't you worry. You go do the other stuff. Dak Prescott's the Clarence Beak of the Dallas Cowboys. Oh, shoot. Oops, lost Todd there. There we go. Oh, that's funny. It's a good point, Todd. I agree as well. Yeah, he saw that. He saw the fight. So the fight was just crazy. So if you like on like YouTube or Google or Instagram,
I'm gonna have to
it
look
had
at
like
it because
these people
I
are
don't know how I
fighting and
didn't see
stuff.
that.
Yeah.
Where was that game at? Was it in Dallas? Was it in Dallas?
California. I think it was. I
Oh,
think
was
it
it
was the
Cal?
Chargers.
So there
Yeah,
you go. Yeah,
yeah,
there's some Californians for
yeah,
you.
yeah. I can't believe Moody missed that 41 field goal last week. I actually busted one of my plays on the deck. Well, the Cowboys are chasing the Niners or whatever it looks like. So I'm gonna drink one more beer. You drinking one more beer? You drinking another beer? You got a beer?
Still got like
Right.
how long are we going?
Probably by 11 or something, unless Mal
Good-
shows up. But
good
Hazelnut Deluxe, because I haven't had a double-digit beer tonight. So 10% ABV, Southern Tier, Hazelnut Deluxe, coming at you with the Blackwater Series.
Blackwater.
Imperial
I
Stout.
haven't
Yeah,
seen that one.
yeah. This is one that came out a few months ago, and this is Best Buy 228 of 24. So plenty of time. I actually have the review that I've done on this, and I'll be posted up at some point here. But yeah, let's go ahead and drink this bad boy. Got a little bit of drippage here. Put that there. So I always keep a towel around just in case. I had it sit now, so I think it got a little warm. But if you've not had Southern Tier, I don't know what you're doing with your life for one. No, it's definitely one you want to check out if you haven't had the Blackwater series. Southern Tier pretty much kills it with their dessert type beers, which is fitting for the last beer for the night that I'll have. That'll be a dessert type beer, and this one. Any notes I want to mention on this here? I can tell you it's definitely got a nice nuttiness to it because I've had it already. And you get a nice feel of the chocolate coming through. A little bit of that roasted coffee. Try to clean off a few things here. And you get a nice caramel undertone to the beer. It's almost like a liquid brownie in the glass with like the hazelnut on it and like a little bit of a fudgy feel. Definitely hits to be a nice little dessert beer. A little bit of vanilla coming out. And you get a little feel of that, I believe, from some of the barreling. So it's a nice imperial stout. I mean, Southern Tier, we know they're a good brewery, and they put up some good stuff.
Nice.
Speaking of good breweries, I'm so pumped to have Left Hand coming on next week. That's going to be a great interview.
So how did that happen? Like, how did you hook up with them?
With Left Hand, I want to say I think I was reached out to by one of their people that actually checked out the podcast and really liked what we were doing and reached out about maybe having someone come on. And I went back and forth with them. She reached out to me, actually. This is October, so I would say probably back in April or so. It was a few months back, and then we kind of did stuff on Twitter before it was X. And then they had some stuff she said it took place where their internet was kind of screwy or some stuff they were doing, but she got back in touch with me and asked about still doing that. So, yeah, I'm definitely interested. If we can do that, that'd be awesome. And we just stuck with it, and then we found a time that actually worked. So Gary Glass will come on next Wednesday to actually talk about brewing at Left Hand. He's their head brewer, and we'll get into some good discussions. They're actually sending some beers my way to have for the show, so I'll be sharing some of that stuff here and then doing some reviews on a couple of their things. I do have one of their wake up beers here in the cooler already that I was going to be doing a review on, and it was just one of those things, just reaching out. And I'm actually going to talk with another brewery. That's another one of the big craft boys that hopefully we can get them on because she's actually interested and she's passing along the details there too. So a goal, like I said before, a while back, I'm looking at different things to do with the channel at this point because I still have the beer reviews coming up, but there's other stuff that I'm going to be doing. I know you've been on me about the hop type stuff. I got more hop stuff that's planned to come out. I got more stuff coming out about history of beer, some more educational stuff, and different fun ways to look at some things. And the beer reviews are kind of just filling it right now on some stuff. So this past few weeks, I've taken time off from putting up as many videos so that I could actually focus on doing a revamping of the videos that are out there already, which actually is amazing. I did that and I started getting more traction off the old videos. I've noticed little things that I wasn't doing before that I went back and just adjusted. And then all of a sudden, the YouTube algorithm started picking them up and doing different stuff with them. So I started seeing more stuff coming in from things I've done. That's all behind me now. Now I can focus on stuff going forward. So there's a lot of good stuff that I have for ideas that are coming. Besides just the beer reviews will be a little bit more scattered, but I've got more stuff that I'll actually be sharing. I'll be talking about more around beer in an educational, more fun way. I've actually talked to M. Salter. I shared her thing on the post where I picked up her book that she had done recently, but she's been interested in coming back on the show when I talked to her. So I'm going to get her back on to talk about some stuff. I got other people lined up that I'm going to reach out to get back on. So this is going to definitely get more fun stuff around beer. There's going to be more beer news items that I'll be sharing and stuff like that too. More beer stories, kind of putting my own spin on stuff, which people seem to also enjoy. So a lot of good things coming. And it just took a retooling of stuff and looking at things. And I think the big thing was, as I told you, I went to that VidCon conference a couple weeks ago, and they opened my eye to various things. So for those of you that are on TikTok, I'm on TikTok doing different stuff now. Still got the stuff on Facebook, still got the stuff on Twitter, or X as they call it. And just switching it up a little bit. So still beer oriented, but a lot more fun that we'll be sharing on the channel here. And then I'll have more people coming on doing different stuff too. So
that's cool.
So definitely stay tuned for that. And I never hear back from your people there at Our Lady. If you talk to them, let me know, because
I haven't seen him in a while, but I will mention it to him again. I know the last time we talked about it, he was like he wanted to do it, but he wanted I don't know. It's kind of weird. I'm not really sure why, but I'll ask him again though.
Yeah, just let me know. Cheers, Dave. Great to have you from over there, my friend, from the Isle of Man. I've actually got that game where it's the motorcycle race, and I haven't played it yet, but it's all based off the Isle of Man. And our buddy EB, Eclectic Beard, he actually did videos of it before where they ride all these crazy vehicles over there to Isle of Man, which is interesting. It's I would say death defying, but some people have died doing the races over there. It's kind of crazy. But if you ever pull it up, Isle of Man and the motorcycle racing type stuff, some amazing footage that you actually see there. Yeah.
Kind of nuts.
But this one right here, smooth is smooth. Go ahead.
What's the ABV on that one?
10%.
10%, okay.
Yeah.
I remember you saying, but I can't remember what it was.
Yeah. One thing I used to do back in the day, I haven't done it in a while, and I actually learned it from being at one of the BJ restaurants years ago. The guy was making a beer, and he took a shot of whiskey, put it in the bottom of the glass, and he put the beer on top of it. So it's not like a barrel-aged beer, but you can get a whiskey feel through the beer. I don't know if you've ever done that or thought about doing that, but that's a nice way to give a little bit of a kick to a beer as well, like an imperial stout or just a regular stout, just to put the whiskey in and do that, and you'll get a feel that kind of adds a little bit of a different level to it.
I kind of want to try it now, just to see.
Well, I got that one that's the maple that I might do that with the beer at some point, just to see what it tastes like and everything. And that might be another thing I start bringing, like some craft beer type cocktails and stuff to the channel.
Does it mix it, or does it just kind of lay on top of it?
Well, you put the shot in first, and you pour the beer in, and that causes it to mix with the beer as it fills up the glass. Yeah.
Well, because sometimes when you layer stuff, it kind of just doesn't it? I didn't know if that did.
Yeah, no. This will actually mix into it doing that, and that's the whole thing with the density. So if you make a black and tan, how you have to pour it and everything like that.
You're right.
You pour the wheat first, and then you pour the stout on top, and that lays on top because of the density between the two. Yeah.
I wasn't sure if that was the same thing or not.
I've never done a black and tan video. I should do that for the channel, just to show how you pour a black and tan. That'd be an interesting idea.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah. But it's funny. We did stuff like people like the hop. Like I know you're always a fan of the hop videos, but it's funny because I see people watching the hop videos now. I've done some different rewarding of it, so to speak, that now it shows up a lot better for people. So,
Oh, okay.
and there's like so many hops I'm gonna talk. Like it's funny, I did the hops that I did, but I never did like the main ones. Like I never did like a Centennial hop. I never did like the Citra or some of the other ones. It's kind of
Oh,
like
yeah.
I did the Warrior and the Apollo and different ones.
Yeah.
So there's different ways you can experiment with the hops there and add different flavor to the
So I
beer.
feel like if people would know like the flavor of that hop going into it, then they would know more of what to expect from that beer with that hop in it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
especially if it's like a single hop beer or whatever with that,
Yeah.
hop in it.
And that'll probably be something I talk about with Gary next week too, like some of the hops they use and how they kind of come up with those decisions and what they look for in the hops and things like that. I'm stoked for next Wednesday night. So
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out for sure.
Yeah. So I'll put
Some
stuff.
of the hops are for bittering, some of them are for where you get the flavor out of it. Taste whatever. So they kind of run different. And how you use them, or how long you boil them, or the different.
Yeah, because I mean, there's some hops that some people like to use just because they want that aroma, right? So
Right, yeah.
they'll put it in the last 10 minutes or so to boil, or they'll do a dry hop on it just to get that aroma thing. But some people want the bitter and to be in as a part too. So it's like that's the thing. Like you go to these breweries and it's so much science that's involved. Like literally, there's chemistry sets in a lot of breweries on how they come up with what they need to get for the right balance and tools, which is cool.
Oh yeah. Well, that's like when you get those clone beers or whatever for home brewers. Like,
yeah,
you can follow the directions, but it may not be exactly. It'll be close, but it's not gonna be exactly the same.
yeah.
As what you drink, you know what I mean? Because you're not doing one. The water might be different. Two, you might, a minute or two here and there makes a difference in the different hops that you're using. Or the grain or whatever might be just a little bit more than this or less than it. It's just so much variation to it.
Yeah. So it's finding that right balance and the right levels that you need on stuff. But
and that's what I always liked about. Always come to mind for me was like the pumpkin ale or the Oktoberfest that Sam Adams did. I think of that one of more than any of, not say more than any of them, the ones that come to mind for the like bigger brands or whatever, like that one always seemed to change from year to year. And it wasn't like a normal, I mean, the taste was similar, but it was always a little bit.
There was always something a little different about it, right?
Yeah. I think it was in just the brewing process. I don't know that they changed ingredients or anything, but it was just kind of hard to replicate, every single time. Not like a macro where it's just like, okay, we've got whatever percentage of rice or yeast or whatever, it's the same flavor you're going to get every single time because it's the same process,
Yeah, I mean, it can be the little adjustment. It's like kind of like Urban Artifact that you've had an Urban Artifact beers out of Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah.
So they do like the wild type ales as well. And it's kind of like when they're doing that, they're doing open fermentation. So they may make a beer this year and make the same beer in theory the next, but there'll be two different tastes because of that open fermentation of what may have been affected in the beer. So those things come into account. Not every beer is always going to be exactly the same, possibly, on what they're actually doing. Unless you're doing something like, say, an Anheuser-Busch, where you're making the same process where you're doing the Budweiser or something like that and everything,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Which even that is we talk about some of the macro type stuff, but even to have that, I want to say stick to itiveness, to stay in line for what you need is a tough thing to do. Like you have to pretty much hit everything the same way when you're making even some of those macro type stuff. So it's not always easy, that's for sure.
And I'm sure most like craft breweries are the exact same thing. For whatever reason, that pumpkin beer from Sam Adams always comes to mind.
Yeah.
Because it kind of sticks out from the others.
Probably
because it's a yearly thing, is where a lot of the craft beers, like you might get it this month and you may never get it again, or you might get it next year, or 2 years from now or whatever.
Yeah. Well, it's always kind of fun to experiment with it. That's why, we get the Goose Island stuff, right? Because on the label it says Goose Island Bourbon County Stout or whatever, but we know that each year it's not going to be necessarily the same because they're doing something different to it. So it's kind of fun to see where the change may have occurred.
I thought that was one thing kind of came to mind was that Benny's up in Chicago. There was still like the standard Bourbon County and probably like 4 other variants of Bourbon County on the shelf still from last year.
You didn't get it? Any of them? Or
I didn't, and I should have, because they had one in the box and they had it marked down. I was like, after I left there, I was like, gosh dang it, I should have bought that one. I don't know why I didn't. I should have, and I didn't, because I already had a cart full of stuff, and I didn't. I was like,
it was probably whatever was it.
I missed on the Parabola, 2023 Parabola.
Yeah, got that.
I haven't seen it. I don't know if our liquor stores even carry them anymore or not.
Well, that's like in Jersey. They're like sitting on shelves in Jersey. If I come across, I went back up to Jersey to Christmas or whatever. But it's kind of like
because they had it for like $9.99. I was like, after leaving, I was like, gosh dang, I should have got that because I didn't. I got home and I checked because I still have like 2021 or 2020, 2021, and maybe last year's, and I didn't have this year's. Like, dang on, I should have got it. Why didn't I get that? Even if I had it, I should have got it anyway, just because.
Like, just the principle alone, I should have gotten that one.
Exactly. It's like, I should have got it, you dummy.
Well, it's funny. I walked into, when I was in New Jersey last time, let me see if I can find out which one it is here. I walked into one of the stores, right? They had the double DBA Batch 10,000 2023. And this was the extra special strong ESB, basically, beer. Welcome to the commercial breakdown. Welcome to the special Imperial edition of the beer that started off for Firestone Walker DBA. We brewed this batch at double strength, then aged it for a year in 11-year-old Old Fitzgerald wheated bourbon barrels, which enhanced DBA's classic flavors of toffee and caramel with notes of bacon spice, cocoa powder, and dried fig. The result is a double DBA batch 10K, a commemorative release that marks the 10,000th batch of beer brewed at our Paso Robles, California brewery. How much do you think I paid for a bottle of that?
Free? Well, I don't know. That's a trick question because did you get a Rod J deal or did you pay like the actual price of it? I'm not sure how to answer that.
What would you think that would be on the shelf for? Thinking of Firestone Walker beers.
In just a 12-ounce bottle or like the?
It's the what do they have? Is it a 12 or a 16? Whatever in the box type bottle.
You're right.
What is that?
I think they're 12 ounces. I think.
Yeah.
I'm gonna shoot just a little high and go like $16.99.
Okay. So in most spots where you see the beer like that, at least here in Baltimore, I've seen that beer. That was like $12.99, I think, a bottle. Some places it might be more if they're trying to jack up the price a little bit.
Yeah.
Walking into New Jersey, I walk by and they're like, and I'm like, $6.99 a bottle on the shelf. $6.99. So I just got two. I got two of them because I'm like, just in case this isn't right when I go to the register, when he rings it up $6.99. I'm like, dude, I'm like, that's a steal. He's like, because sometimes the cashiers will look at it and they'll be like,
is this right? Yeah.
That's right. That's what it was. I'm like, it's funny how you can go to certain spots and you'll find beers on shelves that are like, this is way underpriced, but depending on if they're not selling or it's just like they had moved stuff. So yeah, it was definitely a Rod J deal that I got there. So
that's awesome.
Because I came back here and I was like, I saw it and I was like, I wonder what it is here. And I went and looked at it, it was like $12.99. Like, oh, I got a good deal on that.
Even made you think like, is this right? Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I feel guilty for paying this, but I'm good anyway.
You buy enough beers, you're like, when something doesn't seem right, you want to make sure.
Yeah, right. Like
Like,
somebody's gonna get fired
you're
tomorrow.
like, well, maybe somebody didn't change a price tag or something like that. It was just, give you a heads up. And they're like, no, that's the right price. And it's funny. I told you about you get a kick out of this. So the Three Floyds, when I got what was it? The Cucamonga.
Oh
lager.
yes.
So I went there, right? The guy was like, "Oh, we're gonna knock it down anyways." Like, say $8.99 a bottle or that. But I came back to the store later on, and now it was like I think they raised it to it was like supposed to be like $10.99 or $11.99 for the thing. So it was like he undercut the deal more than was supposed to be undercut. So it's not my job to tell somebody they're doing it wrong.
Right, right.
Yeah.
It's just a consumer. It's not my fault.
Yeah.
I paid. I wasn't stealing it. I paid it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think they're getting to know me at that store because that's the same store when I got the whiskey. They were like, "Oh, I got an open bottle if you want to check it out and get a taste before you actually buy it, but it's really good." And
There you
I'm
go.
like, well, "Yeah, hook a brother up. I'll take some whiskey. I'll take a whiskey sampling." Yeah,
Rajay is at the East Coast.
I'm starting to make my moves in Baltimore at this point. So,
There you go. All right, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick, and do you still got some of your beer? I'm gonna grab another one if you do.
Yeah, I got some of my beer left still.
Okay.
So knock yourself out there. So Todd is going to run to the restroom here as I enjoy the beer. But if you guys have any questions, just let me know. Put some stuff there in the chat. It's funny. I don't know if my thing is actually working right for what I'm seeing for people watching or not, because I see more people commenting than actually watching. So I don't know if something's going on with the browser, so to speak. But I will tell you, this is a good one. So if you are a fan of dessert stouts, Hazelnut Deluxe, again, it's like a liquid alcoholic brownie, 10% ABV. Southern Tier nails it again here with the Blackwater series. I'll have a review, as I mentioned earlier, upcoming on the channel in the next probably a week or two, depending when I get it all set up. But definitely worth giving it a taste. What Todd's got going on over there, but he's having a good time. As he goes to get another beer.
What's your problem?
And remember, if you guys are drinking something, let us know what you're drinking in the comments section below. Because we want to know what kind of beers are catching your attention at this point. As Todd grabbed another beer there. You tell them the beer you got while I go get this bottle.
I feel like I should say I'm gonna grab a different real quick, but I'll be like 2 seconds.
You grabbing a different one?
Yeah, because this one was sour, but it's a pina colada, and Shannon loves pina coladas, so I
like pina colada.
Her
and Jimmy Buffett.
Just let her try it.
Jimmy Buffett can't drink pina colada right now, but anyway,
yeah.
He rest in peace. He did enjoy pina coladas, that's for sure.
One time or another, he did.
At one time, he wrote a song about it.
And everybody else.
Yeah. Speaking of, not to speak of things happening to people.
Just tied the game up.
But one thing, watching some of this news over the last few weeks has told me, like, the crazy stuff that's happened in the Middle East is like, why am I sitting on all my good beers and drinking all the other beers, right? Like, what if something happened to me tomorrow? Not like it happened over there, but what if something just happened to me? I got like Bourbon County. I got Big Bad Baptist. I got some stuff out of freaking Brussels. I need to drink these other beers. So expect to start seeing some different big hitters coming through on the channel is what I'm saying, because I don't know when my ticket gets punched. Nobody knows when the ticket gets punched.
It's funny you say that. And I wasn't thinking along those lines, but that's totally like, what if that's true. I never thought about it that way. But I was like, thinking, I got beers downstairs that I've had for a year, like 5, 6, 7 years. I'm like, I need to fucking open those beers and drink them. Like,
start drinking them.
What did I buy them for? If I'm not gonna drink them, what did I buy them for?
I mean, I'm not a religious person, but let's just say I'm wrong And I'm looking down and I'm like, I never got to taste that Big Bad Baptist down there. And somebody else is going to get that because I'm gone.
Yeah, and if you don't taste that, then I'm going to be mad because I'm like, send me that way you can get them before you move to Baltimore. I want those, but no, because we don't get them here no more. So.
I need to put Todd in the wheel. If something happens to me, send all the beer to Todd. Send all the beer to Todd. I'll let Janice know. Yeah. Todd's like, we're doing a road trip to Baltimore. I got a lot of stuff to collect.
got a heavy load to pick up. Rent a U-Haul.
I got a few boxes of some beers, definitely. So yeah. But I'm like, I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, what if something were to happen? Again, not something as terrible as what happened over there, but just, you never know what could happen. You get hit by a bus, and it's just like, I'm sitting with all these good beers thinking I could drink them at some special time, but like, what is that special time? Why not enjoy those beers now? I've got like a full box of all these bourbon counties I've had for years.
Yes.
Big Bad Baptist. Ones is just like all these ones that I've got from over in Belgium and different. It's like, crack those bad boys open. I'm like, not that the other beers I'm drinking right now are bad because they're not. They're some local craft brewery, but I'm like, I've got some good notorious beers I should be enjoying.
I still have 2, maybe 3 bourbon counties before they went to the bomber size bottles. Right. And now you can get them. I think you can get some last year or this past year. And like
when they came out with the 12 ounce, yeah, because I saw those here with the 4-pack of the 12 ounce.
But before all they came in was the 12 ounce 4-packs or whatever. And I've got a pack of those still. I think it was 2014 or 15, I think. And I'm like, I need to freaking drink because they're not going to be good forever. Like, why haven't I drank those yet? I was like, it's so dumb.
Emerson, if we all get drafted, we're a pre-geriatric squad to fight overseas. Many beers will be missed drink now, right?
for sure, yes.
Yeah, drink those beers now. And I'm just saying, not just for me, but for those of you watching too, maybe you're sitting on certain beers, but as we know, tomorrow is not guaranteed. So maybe you should start enjoying some of that stuff. I mean, I'm not going to tell you to drink a whole bottle of Utopias like somebody else on the panel might do. But
somebody else on the panel, I'm not sure what you're talking about.
But you should enjoy. Maybe there's no better time than the present for when you should enjoy your beers, so to speak.
Why do you think that is? Why do we do that? Is it just to be like?
I feel like it's
not we go out and like show it off to everybody. Like we have it downstairs in our basement and just put away. Like nobody even knows what that is.
I'm going to tell you, when you get into craft beer, there's a hoarder mentality that comes into place.
No, there totally is. That's what I'm asking.
Because
why do you think that is though?
Because we know that there's certain beers that you come across that everybody can't get. So that you're able to get them in your part of the country or like that and everything, but then you're like, you never know when you want to crack those things open. Like you think maybe for a special type thing or to enjoy it. And it's like, so we end up hoarding stuff. So it's kind of like you go to your thing and you're like, I got to
open because you're never going to get it again.
One of our friends, I'm going to say it out there, not as a bad one, like Kyle, no hype. You watch Kyle do the videos. Think of all the great beers he has behind him. He's always great beers behind him. And it's just like, what if something happens to you? You'll never get to enjoy those.
Never get none of those. Yeah.
Now Joe, all of his stuff's cracked open, so we know Joe did enjoy his. But Kyle has all these different things where it's just like maybe you should start going through some stuff and then refill up as you need to refill up. But you want to take an opportunity to actually have those tastes out there. So
no, and I agree with your answer. I was just wondering what your thought was because I thought the same thing. I was thinking it's a hoarder's mentality for sure. It's like I want to drink it, but I still want to have it I still want to have it for later if I want to have it for later. But like you said, you never know if later is going to, you
never know. Yeah. And it's kind of like, and from those of us that, we have the channels, it's almost like you want to drink a beer, but you don't maybe want to do a video. And our mentality is, well, what if I open that beer and I like that beer and I'm like, I should have done a video. I only have one of that beer. You know what? Maybe you don't have to do every beer on video. Maybe you don't. So then you just go ahead and live in the moment type thing stuff. That's like a thing we have to fight through at times. So yeah.
And that would be my problem if I had a channel. I'd be like, I feel like I have to do every new beer. Like I need to do, I need to share this with everybody else. But I'm like, I ain't got time for all that. I just want to drink a beer.
I saw a new remix for the 3-6 Mafia song. You know, it's hard out here for a beer reviewer. If there's ever a sequel to the movie, right, to a beer reviewer,
that's it right there.
Yeah, it's tough at times. It's kind of like, do I drink that beer? Do I not drink that beer? Ooh, and it's just like, sometimes she'll ask Janice, like, you got a beer I can like? Ooh, those I only got one offs.
I'm not sure. We might run to the store and buy one.
I can go get you what you want. She's like, well, did you got beer in it? Well, the beer I got are kind of special beers.
35 boxes that we got in the store. What do you mean I gotta go buy one? Well, there's a beer and then there's the beer. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta, a special occasion beer or, we'll just open one up for Saturday night beer.
It's like, this is the life I lead. It's rough. It's rough eating beer. It's rough. I can't just give you anything.
I mean, it's kind of like, the balance for sure. Because I'm the same way. I'm like,
Oh, things are
beer. You can have beer, but don't get the beer on the right of the shelf or in the shelf itself on top. Like whatever, you can have anything else, but it's none of those. Let me take the beer before you have it. Let me see what you have. I'll let you know if you can drink it or not.
Trez exactly. Drink out. Cheers. Yeah, it's kind of like, we get to a post a pop the liquid. Give me your address, Ron. Yeah, definitely. I'll get it to you, Trez. It's we get to a post-apocalyptic world, and it's like we're dealing in beer. So it's kind of like you're going in, you need something, and the guy's like, well, I can give you a 60-minute IPA. It's like, I don't know, 60-minute 90?
What else you got?
You talk with a 90? Like, what if we start trading in beer? That would be kind of an interesting world. And it's just like, I was looking for a Bourbon County.
So it's like, give me some of that. What you got over there? What you got? What do you got over there? Okay.
That'll cost you a Bourbon County. And I was like, damn it, I drank the Bourbon County last night.
And then you're pissed. It's like, I should have got 2 bottles of that. I knew I should have got 2 bottles of that. One for now, one for 15 years from now.
I'm still in catalytic converters to try to find beer. I'll give you 1 catalytic converter for a Bourbon County brand stout. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You guys convinced me. Life is short. I'm going to try more expensive, rare IPAs that I have never had before. I may also try meth.
I mean, might as well,
You only live once.
Teeth are optional at this point. Like, you can go to the dentist and get more. Why not?
Yeah. Heck, it's kind of like also happening. It's like, you know what? I don't know what tomorrow holds. I'm going to be a risk taker today. You're like, yeah. I might go and fight it.
We laugh about this, but that's Shannon's mentality for sure is like, who knows about tomorrow? Let's live the day like today. Is like, yeah, but what if tomorrow happens? Like, what are you going to do then? Like, we'll worry about that tomorrow.
We'll worry about it tomorrow, yeah. like,
okay.
I think I can take that alligator.
Yeah. Like, come on, let's go.
What is up, Phil? Cheers, my friend. Happy Friday to you, buddy. At this point, I think we hit the slap happy hour. So yeah. Yeah, but it's kind of like I've got the stuff in there. I might do a video just showing all the stuff that I have. But it's like, why am I holding all these bottles back? Like, I've got stuff from 2018, 2017, 2019.
I know.
Just start getting into the collections and just start enjoying it. I mean, I've got good stuff in there. It's more recent, but it's kind of like, why am I holding back all this other good stuff that I could actually enjoy today?
Right.
But it's kind of like the whole thing. Like, I saw a thing earlier, and it was like Hot Wheels. Hot Wheels was a big toy back in the day, right? Still a pretty big toy for cars and everything like that. And they came out with, you can get like 100 Hot Wheel cars for $9.99. They're doing a promotion to celebrate like their anniversary.
Oh,
And
yeah.
And like one of the people commented like, we got our order in today, which is great, but we don't know if we're going to open them or leave them in plastic. Because it's a collector type thing down the line. But I'm like, but do you get to enjoy it if you're waiting for the collector? Like, yeah, I know like the Star Wars people kept their stuff in plastic.
Right.
And that was personal stuff. But I'm like, if I'm a kid, I want to play with it.
Exactly. Like,
but it's like,
it'd be like torture.
Yeah,
on the shelf and looking at it like, oh, this is so great. I wish I could play with it.
Yeah.
What?
It's like they were showing, which let me tell you, Todd already knows, folks. One of my favorite shows to watch on Sundays, The Food That Built America. And then they get The Food That Built America, The Toys That Built America, The Cars That Built America. They got a whole freaking different stuff. The Toys That Built America is a new season this season. And I didn't realize it at the time, but they were doing one of Star Wars. So Star Wars came out in 1977. I think it was 1977. Yeah. And they were fighting over the toy stuff. And actually, the toy thing ended up going to Kenner down the line. It came out with the little toys, the 3.5 type things. But these other companies had kind of passed on it. But here's the thing. The movie came out in December, like before Christmas. They could not make the toys in time. They just couldn't do it. So people had to put their orders in and get them later. Which you think about Christmas, like kids want to get this at Christmas or whatever. But they were like worried it wasn't going to sell. Then in February, all the toys became available to the kids. And they were able to fulfill orders. But the Millennium Falcon wasn't done until like 1979, like 2 years later, before they could actually make that a toy. It's just interesting on how it actually worked out for the marketing aspect of it. And I was like just intrigued watching this show on how they did that. And then they talked about like the whole battle between Kenner and Hasbro and these other companies. And so they came out with the Conan, like the company that did Conan that ended up being He-Man down the line, right? So initially they did Conan. They didn't know what the script was because Star Wars had taken off. They did Conan. I think it was Mattel. And then they saw the movie, like in a screening, and they're like, we got a problem. Because Conan was not made for kids. It was made for adults. And anybody seen Conan the Barbarian back in the day? A lot of nudity, a lot of killing, a lot of that's not a kid's show. And so they were like end up shelving it, but they came up with the idea later for the He-Man type stuff that it actually ended up going to. So
I
tell you, History Channel's got some great stuff on it.
I haven't seen the Toys That Built America. Like I want to I need to check that out.
And then the other one they did,
I like the food one. That one's amazing.
Yeah, the one I just saw also they did, like I think it might have been the season premiere, was the one about Transformers. So Transformers was done by the one company, but before Transformers, there was GoBots. I don't know if you remember GoBots.
Oh, no, I used
GoBots.
I like GoBots before like Transformers. Like I was like GoBots because one of them were cheaper.
So GoBots came out before Transformers. And actually, when they got pitched it, they could have had the Transformers name, but they passed on it, trying to figure it. And then one of the guys was like, oh, no, that's too hard for people to remember. And they ended up coming up with GoBots. And then later on, another company got the Transformer, went to the Transformer name, and it pretty much later on just killed
took
GoBots
off
and stuff like that, right? They had the cartoons and all. Because GoBots actually had a cartoon as well they were showing. But the Transformer cartoon was huge.
I'd like to see that because I always wonder about that because I always liked the GoBots because I had the GoBots. Like I had Transformers too, but I was like, man, whatever happened? I was like, I was kind of wondering about that. I was like, whatever happened to GoBots? Like what?
Yeah, Transformers they ended up burying it. Yeah, and it's, I mean, the Food That Built America. So we all know about the Oreo. Like we all loved Oreos growing up. I don't know if you had it in time because you might be too young for it, but there used to be a cookie called Hydroxy. And Hydroxy was actually the one before Oreo. 2 chocolate wafers, vanilla cream in the middle. Basically, Oreo ended, basically the same thing. And Oreo ended up crushed later on. And people think Oreo was the first one, but no, it was actually Hydroxy. And
Hydroxy.
they were done by a different company. Then Oreos came out, and they pretty much took it over. But it's just like the show they actually do is pretty phenomenal, whether it's the toys, the cars, the food. I mean, it's just interesting, these different stories and stuff like that and everything, and how they
Just
compete
the
against
history of it all. Like,
like the Taco Bell story they did on there, the KFC story they did on there, like Wendy's. Dave Thomas could have easily blown up stuff for
that one was amazing.
Who was Dave with? Dave was with
Before he started Wendy's, I think it was KFC.
It was KFC. And they had that disagreement and stuff, and it pretty much screwed him over, and he left them and then started Wendy's.
Well, he took a buyout for like $30,000 or something, like something stupid or whatever.
But they were trying to screw him over there and stuff too. And then like the Domino's, like the brother who basically took like the Volkswagen van because his brother said, you know, they were getting orders, they couldn't deliver in time, and people were canceling. And so he's like, we're only gonna do one thing: pizza, large or small. And they got an order in. They were like, okay, you can only do large, small. We're not doing the sandwiches anymore. We're not doing this and that. And the brother quit on him. And so to buy him out, he bought him out with a Volkswagen van. A Volkswagen van. And this was like back in the late 70s, early 80s, whenever it was. Had he stayed a partner, he would have had a value of $800 million. I don't think the Volkswagen van would have got that high.
Yeah, right. Like 30,000, maybe 30,000 at that point. Like
not even 30,000 at that point.
I haven't seen that one, but I've seen, like, I knew it was out there.
Yeah, that's like a whole lot of deliveries you have to make up for that, which you just lost.
No kidding.
Walking out in the company. So yeah, so it's just interesting just seeing. And I tell you, some of the food people are some of the most cutthroat people. You think about business, you think about oil. Yeah. You think about like the JP Morgans and all those guys, but some of the food ones, they're just like, we can't beat them, we'll buy them. You know, they come in and they pretty much take them over on stuff. So yeah, it's a good series. It's a good series.
Yeah, good.
He said, I'll pass on the meth. Give me magic mushrooms all day. There you go. Get some shrooms.
Some shrooms.
Hey, you never know. You never know. It's interesting. It's funny. I was telling the wife earlier. It's like, you know, it's like you watch these reporters that are covering the stuff happening overseas and everything like that. And, you know, we all hope there's a quick type of situation where they can kind of end that kind of stuff. But it's funny. It's like, I was watching the other day, like Lester Holt was on there, and Lester Holt's going to shelters. I'm like, Lester Holt's like 68 years old or something like that, everything. And I'm like, he's got to be thinking, like, why the hell am I over here? Like, I'm not trying to prove. I'm Lester Holt. My name's already been made in the industry. Why do I got to go to Israel and get?
You're right. Like, I've done my time. I don't have to go over there.
I told her, you got the new guys. They're trying to make a name for themselves, so they're over here. And you got some guys that are adrenaline junkies, and they're over here. Like, I don't need to be here. I'm Lester Holt. Send me back to America. So, kind of crazy though. I don't know where that came from. That was just a ramble here on the channel, but that's how it happens sometimes.
Yeah, you never know. Comes out left.
But when I saw we were shooting down rockets today, I'm like, oh, great. Now we're going to get pulled into it. Now it's like, they're going to say, oh, man. And then they were like outside the Lebanon embassy for our embassy in Lebanon protest. Like, yeah, because Joe came over there and he talked about the stuff. So it's kind of like, now they're going to be against it. It's just.
Well, I was going to say, they were talking about it a couple of days ago. Like, yeah, we're setting up to go over and fight for sure. Like it's going to happen. Yeah.
Any mushrooms you'll find on meth? All of them. We'll find them all for on meth ever since. Look at all the shrooms. Oh, that's all it is now. A salesman for silver ideas. Yeah. Lester's, you know, I think of news people. I feel like Lester's like the honest voice that's out there. It's almost like the Walter Cronkite of our era at this point. So, I just be like, I know he's over there telling the story and all kind of stuff, but I'm like, why do you got to send Lester over? Like, it's like, does everybody have to go? You know, so. But that being said, the world is crazy right now, so drink all your good beers while you can. That's the moral of the story. Moral of the story: don't hold back. Don't hold back. You know.
As Marshot would say, smoke them if you got them, or drink them if you got them.
do like Todd and drink a full Utopias in one night sitting.
I think everybody should try that at least once in their lifetime. You may not remember much the next day or the day before or 2 days prior to that, but hey.
I don't think there's any alcohol in this thing. Where are we at? Like the whole bottle's empty. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I mean, sitting there and it was free, and I knew I was never probably ever going to get it again, and they didn't like it. I was like, sure, I'll drink it.
Yeah. Oh,
I didn't think I
saw
was
a
going to
great
drink it all, but I did. So it happens,
saw a great trailer today for a movie. I don't know if you saw it or not. Joaquin Phoenix, who's always like good in acting stuff, right? Napoleon's coming out. He's going to play Napoleon. Ridley Scott's directing it. So we know Ridley Scott puts out great stuff anyway. I'm telling you, you need to watch the trailer for Napoleon. This is going to be.
Wait, it's not Joaquin Phoenix. He's the one that died, right?
No, it's River. River died.
Oh, River Phoenix. Okay.
Although when you say that, maybe.
Like, wait a minute. What are you talking? How long ago was this?
now you said it made me think of Justin's song "Cry Me a River," but no, it was River that died. But Joaquin, from Gladiator and stuff like that, Joker, the trailer is freaking intense. It's just like it's almost like watching Gladiator or something like that. I'm looking forward to actually seeing that. So I haven't seen a movie trailer to really get me engaged as much as what this one has. I'm like, okay, that looks like something up my alley. Yeah, see, the dogs want to see Napoleon too. They're pretty pumped up.
Daughter's coming home from work and that freaking dog. Here's a boy, just like starts barking. Yeah. I'm like, I just want to sometimes choke her. Whatever it does, but I'm like, sometimes I just want to choke her. So what's the name of that one?
Napoleon.
Yeah.
So it's a new one from Ridley Scott. I think it comes out, I want to say towards Thanksgiving, maybe.
I mean, anything Ridley Scott does is usually top notch. So
yeah, I think that's going to be a nice little movie to run at the end of the year here that people are going to be kind of intrigued by.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see that one for sure.
And then the other one is the Martin Scorsese movie, Killer of the Flowers.
I don't think previews for that one either.
That's with Leonardo DiCaprio. That looks really good too. And actually,
of course, if he's in it, it's probably going to be good.
Yeah, that one got me so interested. I actually pulled up the Killer of the Flower Moon. I think maybe. Yeah, Killers of the Flower Moon. So that's about to come out, and that one got me so intrigued. I actually pulled up the history around it. That's got some crazy stuff. It was basically about Native Americans that had land where oil was discovered and how they were pretty much being taken out so that we can get to the oil and stuff by one of the. It's pretty intriguing how that is. So, Killers of the Flower Moon.
I feel like any movie that DiCaprio's in is going to be like top notch.
Yeah.
I feel like he's not going to put his name in a movie unless it's going to be something worth watching or taking up your time to watch. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Not early on. I'm sure he did some shit that was like, yeah, whatever. But later, when it goes like 4 or 5 years between movies or whatever, he's like picking and choosing his spots to be in.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, not just him. I know there's other ones, but I think of him for one, just because I kind of grew up in his era. It's kind of my age or our age, I guess, or whatever. But I feel like anything now that he puts his name on is like, oh, it's probably going to be good.
Yeah. It's funny. I've lately, it's been on like late nights or different stuff, like on the weekend. I'll be flipping through stuff. Oh, Wolf of Wall Street. Let me see what part they're on. And then I'm sitting there watching the rest of the movie the whole time. Like, every time I watch this movie, but it's so good with him and Jonah Hill in that movie. So, and the Margaret Robbie. Yeah. Enough said. Hope it's as funny as Napoleon Dynamite. A little bit different Napoleon. Napoleon Dynamite's a classic. Yeah. I don't know if you ever saw that video of people comparing uh, Rico on Napoleon Dynamite to Patrick Mahomes as a quarterback. Like, have you seen that video? Like, that's out there. It's like, is nobody going to say that Patrick Mahomes is basically Uncle Rico in real life? And they're
I don't
showing
think
like Uncle Rico throwing stuff on in the movie and how
they don't
Patrick's
turn around just like
yeah.
yeah.
They're
No,
showing
I've never
Patrick.
seen that. No, that'd be funny. Because that actually kind of does remind me, like, okay, I can see that.
Yeah, they show Patrick doing like the same type of stuff out there.
Like, I'm gonna
Oh
throw up
man.
a mountain. How far do you think that mountain is?
Yeah. Like Jack Nicholson once said, I don't make movies, I make classics. Yeah. Well, Jack was the bomb.
Right, yeah, for sure.
I watched him in The Shining the other night because it was on. Because this Halloween, a month, October, they just Shining on. And it's still a good classic movie to watch. The kid was riding around the big wheel, and it's like, okay, here come the twins. Here
Red
come the
Rum,
twins.
Red
Here come
Rum.
the twins.
I remember watching that as a kid, and I was like, I was freaked out for months after that. I was like,
Yeah. And then I see Scatman on there. It's like, oh, you're gonna die. Don't die, Scatman. Don't die. Is it Jackson get you with the axe? No. Yeah. There goes Hong Kong Fooey. He's down. Yeah. Scatman Corretta's voice of Hong Kong Fooey back in the day. Bunch of other characters too that he did. Yeah. Hong Kong Fooey. That was a good cartoon back in the day. I like that one.
Kung Fu. That was a good one.
Yeah.
I always like the I think speaking of Hong Kong Fu, because it was always in those, like the what was the Laugh Olympics? Do you remember those?
Oh, I remember those. Like that was like Hanna-Barbera, right? Like Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah, but it was like I think it was like teams of 3. I feel like it was like Hanna-Barbera and whatever the other main like cartoon people were then. I can't remember what all they were. But I feel like it's like not every Saturday, but it was like once a month or something. It was like some kind of special, whatever. I was like, oh, this is so great.
Yeah.
But I remember like Kung Kung Fu's in it, and like all the main characters of Hanna-Barbera, and what was the other ones back then? Let me see what I'm gonna look it up now. I was like, what was that?
Because that was like Yogi and some of the other ones. And Warner Brothers had like Bugs and Daffy and Donald and all them.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah.
Or not Donald. Donald was Disney. But Warner Brothers had Daffy and Tasmanian. Well, not Yaz, Taz.
So the first episode of that was 1977.
I was 8 years old back then.
Trying to see if I could see like who the main. It was the Scooby Doobies, the Yogi Yahooies, and the Really Rottens.
The Really Rottens.
That was the 3 teams. I knew it was 3 teams. I thought it was like different like platforms of like, Hanna-Barbera or whatever, but
Hey there, boo boo.
I guess it was all Hanna-Barbera actually.
Yeah, it was all different ones.
Yeah.
Wasn't Hanna-Barbera was the Snagglepuss, the dog that would always laugh or whatever? Was it Snaggle?
Yes.
Yeah. He scared people and just laugh about it. Like, yeah. Fascinated by conspiracy.
Now I kind of want to look it up because I remember the Rottens, like they were like, like dumpy, the scary kind of characters, whatever. Now I kind of want to go back and just see if I can find and just watch it like an episode, just to see if I remember like I thought I remembered it,
Yeah. Everyone just said, I'm fascinated by conspiracy theory that The Shining was Kubrick admitted his involvement in the moon landing. Check out the Flick Room 237 if you like weird and interested. Well, it's funny because I saw when I was looking at The Shining, it was actually Scat Man talking to the kid, and he was like, the kid was like, room 237. And the guy was like, "You don't ever go into room 237. You stay out of that room." Like he was to the kid, like there's nothing in there. It's like, why are you yelling at me? There's nothing in there. Like for nothing being in there, you seem to be pretty excited about it.
Kubrick was a weird dude for sure.
Later, JT. Have a good one, my friend. Great to have you on board as always.
Hey, JT.
You and Liz have a great night.
For sure.
Yeah, the smutty dog. Yeah, this little dog with always laughing, it scares someone up a pole or something like that. Everything. That laugh you would do. Yeah. That's interesting. Room 237. I never heard of that.
Oh, I'm going to have to check that one out.
Yeah. Room 237 is an American documentary film by Rodney Asher about interpretations of Stanley Kubrick's film The Shining, which was adapted. Really?
Said made in 2012.
Interesting. See Rotten Tomatoes. Ooh, 94% on the tomato meter. Of the audiences, not impressed, 55%. Mysterious and provocative. Room 237 is a fascinating journey into the world of Stanley Kubrick, it says.
It gets a 6.2 out of 10 on IMDb. So.
Interesting. Never heard of that one. There you go. Emerson dropping some knowledge out there. Get a little freaked out. It's a good month to do it. It's Halloween. It's October, right? So there you go.
Sure.
All right. Well, I guess we'll get ready to wrap up here. We're at 11:30, 11:32.
Yeah.
Actually get off and actually not go to bed so late tonight. So
I know for once.
Yeah. But thanks for everybody that
Put a person in Central Time, so throws us off an hour.
Right.
That's what JT's like. I gotta go to bed. I'm like, it's only 10:30 there. What do you mean?
Yeah, he's got to crash. He's got to crash early there. But thanks for everybody that tuned in. And again, make sure if you are around next week, I can find this here.
Next Wednesday at 8:00.
Yeah, next Wednesday, 8:00, Left Hand Brewing. Derry Glass will be my guest for a live stream event. So 8 p.m. Eastern at 6%. 6%. What the hell? 6 p.m. Mountain, because he's Mountain Time. We'll actually be talking about Left Hand Brewing and stuff like that. So if you have brewing questions, great opportunity to actually talk to one of the brewers that actually has one of the top breweries in the country, so to speak. So we'll be doing that next Wednesday night. Emerson, all right, fellas, next week. Like it's your last, right? Drink, yeah, you got to get them in. Get them in. Trez says, cheers, everyone. It was a blast. Have a great weekend. You too, my friend.
Cheers, Trez. Cheers, Emerson.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and sign off. And thanks for everybody that tuned in. And we will look forward to catching you next week. Y'all have a good one. Remember, it's always time. Get your beer on. Drink beer. Live happily. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.